Rise and shine. It's Bullring time. Hello, everybody. I am Bob Dillner. Casey LaJoy with me. Good Monday morning to you from Studio 51 in Concord, North Carolina. Casey, time to talk a little short track racing.
Yeah, and I'm back.
Yes.
You booted me out for the week, and I'm back.
I didn't boot you out. You chose to not be here because you wanted to see your brother's face get crushed in at Daytona last week.
It wasn't like crushed in. It was like his sideburn got blown off.
And then yesterday his chin got knocked off.
Yeah, somebody decided to pit right in front of him. Didn't wave him off under green. So
Okay. That seemed to happen a lot yesterday at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
Yeah, BJ McLeod, kind of slowing down and going to turn in. Ryan just looks down at the tack to make sure everything's okay. Boom!
Yeah.
Poor Ryan Priest. I felt bad. I felt bad for BJ McLeod, too. I mean, it was something that neither one of them obviously wanted to have happen.
Yeah, it was I couldn't pinpoint it on one person either. A lot of people were trying to put it on Ryan. A lot of people were trying to put it on BJ. Ryan was just trying to make sure that he was doing pit road speed, and I think BJ didn't do anything wrong. He came across what he was supposed to. If you look right behind him, Ryan Blaney did the same thing.
The only thing I did hear them say after
That's Mark Keeler, by the way.
Yep.
We didn't bring him in yet, but he's like the voice of God. Let's see him. How about that?
Wait, it's coming.
Oh, he's got to do the switch, and he's
Okay.
pressing the buttons.
All right, there it is. But the one thing they said, and they kind of glanced over it a little bit, but after review, they said he was where BJ McLeod actually stopped, and I'm a huge BJ fan because it's Florida Mafia.
Oh, we know.
But they said where he stopped was actually 5 stalls before his pit stall, and they glanced over it right before or after one of the breaks. So that was I don't know. Like you said, there was a lot wrong there. Ryan even admitted he looked down at his tack, but they said it seemed like BJ didn't know quite where his pit stall was or where he was headed.
You know what I have a problem with this conversation?
It's not short tracks.
Right. We said we're talking about short track racing. We're talking about Atlanta Motor Speedway.
It's at least 2 short track racers.
Yes,
recent
that is true.
Short track
that
racers.
is true. Absolutely. And BJ was actually a spotter at the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing at New Smyrna Speedway. I knew that because I was on camera one night. I look over. I didn't even know who he was. He's got like all these skulls around his neck, and his hair is like painted black. I'm like, dude, is that BJ McLeod?
It's BJ. Yeah, it's hard. He's hard to not see.
You don't want to miss him. I mess with him. That's for sure. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about on the show this morning. A lot of big news. At 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we will actually reveal the semifinalists for the Kawicki Driver Development Program. Those will be announced at 9:30 a.m. And what we're going to be doing, it's going to be neat, Casey, we're actually going to be calling some of them just spontaneously and saying, hey, dude, hey, guess what? You're in. At least as far as a semifinalist.
It's like when you show up at their doorstep with the check. I'm like, hey, this is your check.
Absolutely.
Like that, yeah.
It's good. The Publishers Clearinghouse. I don't have $1 million to give away today, but you'll be a little bit closer to getting $7,777. Basically, the list is pared down to a group of drivers, and then after further evaluation for the Kawicki Driver Development Program, they will dwindle down to 7 finalists that will be part of the program in 2019. Each of them will be going and actually receiving $7,777 and then competing for the big prize at the end of the year. And that is the best driver development program on the planet.
Yeah, I think it's really awesome of what benefit you can get from it, not only on the racing side, but you get so much just exposure and you get to learn how to do media better, do interviews, do social media. It's cool. It's great for all facets of racing. Yeah,
we'll be talking about dirt. We'll be talking about pavement. We will actually have an interview with David Rogers, the Gentle Giant from New Smyrna Speedway, multi-time track champion there, multi-time Governor's Cup winner. He is a legend all around the country in the short track realm, and we will be talking to him on the Morning Bullring. But before we do all of that, we got to find out what's going on in the world of short track racing. And for that, we are going to go to our PFC Performance Hotline, where our editor for Speed51.com, Brandon Paul, is. And Brandon, before we go to your graphic, because you got that nice little picture of you interviewing somebody at PRI, I believe, this year. But how about our shirts today, buddy? UNC, baby. Go Heels. How about that? How was that game last week for you with, Tar Heels and Duke?
You don't want to talk about it.
Oh, you guys are one of those that celebrate wins.
Oh, wait a second. If you have followed Brandon Paul on Twitter, and Rob Blount, would always say this. Oh, Brandon is one of those guys that just gets underneath my skin because he's always riling me up on Twitter.
No, it was. I mean, UNC played a good game, but I mean, even Zach Evans, who is a UNC fan, messaged me and told me the win didn't mean as much because Duke wasn't at full strength. They
He's
were
kissing your butt.
Arguably the best college basketball player of this decade. So we'll just leave it at that, and we'll see what happens.
Listen,
hopefully he's back for the rematch.
Duke shouldn't buy cheap shoes.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't buy Nikes. That's
Yes,
correct.
it's
I'll
true.
agree with that.
Yeah, I don't buy Nikes anymore. I buy like Under Armour and all that stuff. But that's a topic for another discussion down the road someday and not on this show. Anyway, what is going on in short track racing, and what do you want to talk about this morning?
Well, I thought something that was pretty cool from this weekend, watching from afar, a go-kart racer at the Appalachian Indoor Showdown won $20,000 for sweeping the four flat track, all four of those features. And from what I understand, he actually had some people in that last race trying to make sure he didn't get that bonus, but he was still able to get it. $20,000 for a go-kart racer was just, to me, is kind of crazy because, I mean, we even look at like the late model level and you see $10,000 and you're like, okay, cool, that's a nice purse. But for a go-kart racer to be able to go out there and win $20,000, I thought that was a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, I think that was really neat. You were there.
Yeah.
Mark was there. You guys got back really late in the morning, basically.
Yeah.
But honestly, to some degree, it's a little bit earlier than I thought you were going to get back
Right.
with all the racing that they had at the Appalachian Indoor Showdown. That was nuts.
Yeah, there was many
26 events.
there was many outlaws. Of course, they had a plethora of different go-karts and stuff. And it wasn't like, he won one race and won 20 grand. He had to win 4 races, like almost back to back to back. It was all the Predator races that he basically just bolted on weight for. And yeah, there was one time, I think in the second to last race, where he got booted he was leading, got booted from the lead, and then from the lead, he got booted back to like 15th or whatever. And then he kind of methodically picked his way back up through, got the win, had to dump a couple people in the process.
I was going to say, how about that? How about that block that one cart threw on him
Yeah,
there in
and then-
turn one?
And then that guy come up to me later and said, "Is this race going to be on the line?" And I said, "Yes, it will be on the line on speed51.com."
There you go.
Yeah,
there you
he
go.
said, I was the first person I ever heard say, "Will this be on the line?" And he was like, "Serious."
On the line. That's it, not online.
Like-
okay, yeah.
Like Brandon Paul is on the line, but it's going to be, the video is going to be on the line.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were going to have a pay-per-view broadcast. Unfortunately, when we got up there, basically a new facility, to some degree, we did a little internet test, and we had great signal, and then there was some like internet blocker or restriction or something on the house internet.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, couldn't bring it to you live, but we'll have all the highlights. Right, Tom Ryan? That's right. All the highlights from the Appalachian Indoor Showdown, and some of them are already up. You can see that right now on our 5-Star Race Car Bodies Facebook feed on speed51.com, and those are some outlaw carts on the racetrack at the Appalachian Indoor Showdown.
Yeah, they were, Outlaws were a handful there. It was like go-karts honestly put on a better show because it was like a perfect size track for them. Outlaws, especially the opens, they really had to, when you got more than like 5 of them out there, it was a little rough in the back.
Well, first year, inaugural, so we got a lot more racing to come. Yeah, Tommy.
Oh, Tom.
You need to tell them how many highlights we're going to have.
Oh, we're going to have a bunch.
All of them.
All of them.
26.
But the track, actually, I got to give some props out to Ashley and Jeremy Burnett. The track surface, I'm not a dirt track person, Bob, you know that, and you love telling people that.
Yep.
But even normally at Millbridge, they'll work the track at some point once they start racing, and they never touched it. Once they put carts on the track Saturday, they never touched it. It actually was a neat layout. It was almost like a mini Martinsville, a little paperclip-ish for the outlaw carts, because more than once they pretty much almost stopped coming out of the corner because if they had gunned it, they were going right around. So it made for some interesting restarts. But all the highlights will be fun to watch. There was some really good racing there.
And you can see all those highlights on the Speed 51 Video Network for just $9.99 a month or $79.99 a year. You can become a premium member of the Speed 51 Network. Brandon, some other racing going on. We're going to talk to Stephen Nasse about his big win down in his hometown track, basically, in Florida this past weekend. We're going to be talking to a lot of other people on this show. Chris Ferguson, Fergie time, coming on the show a little later on in the show to talk about March Madness at Cherokee. So much going on in the world of short track racing.
There is, and obviously we'll have a lot of people on to discuss that. I want to kind of look back at something from last week, a story we did on Speed 51 that created quite a little bit of buzz and a lot of conversation. And this happens a lot when this type of topic comes up. But an 11-year-old crate late model racer, Luke Cooper, is set to make his crate late model debut in 2019. And in Speed 51, Zach Evans did a story on that and talked to his dad. And obviously, anytime you have a story like this with a driver 11, 12 years old getting into a full-body late model, whether it be on dirt or pavement, you always have the debate. Is it too young? Is 11 years old too young to be in a late model of any kind? So that was definitely an interesting story. Right now, he's basically testing the car, going to open practices. His dad isn't putting him in a race just yet. He wants to make sure he's ready. So they're doing the right steps there with Luke Cooper in that crate late model. But it definitely stirred up quite the conversation and quite the debate about whether an 11-year-old should be in this type of race car.
Well, I followed him. I gave him a follow on Twitter because I thought it was a great story, and I like what the dad is saying. He's not going to actually put his son in there until he thinks he's ready. And a lot of fathers these days and mothers just say, let's go for it. We got the money. Let's do it. So I think it's an interesting perspective, and it's a perspective that I want to get from Brandon Ernest, who joins us on the Morning Bullring for the first time. 11 years old. You're a guy with a lot of opinion. I've heard those opinions at the racetrack. What do you think about an 11-year-old going racing with the big boys? I mean, not the hugest boys, okay? It's not like he's going super late model racing, but going crate late model racing on the dirt. Is that too young?
No, I don't think so. I mean, honestly, there's a whole lot of those big boys out there that probably aren't ready to be in a super late model either. So, I mean, what's the difference, right? I think as long as the parents are cautious about the approach and, they go about it methodically and don't put the kid at risk, I think it's perfectly fine.
I think he did good. What do you think? We put him, we threw him right into it. He was sitting down, wasn't ready to talk, and we just gave it right to him. Are you nervous?
Not at all.
Good. I like that.
We're amongst friends here, right?
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes friends, sometimes frenemies, is it called? Something like that. It depends on what topic you're talking about, right?
That's right.
But Brandon Ernest will be joining us on the Morning Bullring. Just wanted to get his take on it. How about you, Casey?
I don't have a problem with it. If the kid can wheel it, who cares?
Exactly.
And if he's ready, then he should be fine. But obviously it takes a little bit more watching from the parents to know if he's ready or not. And obviously you heard that his parents aren't just going to throw him to the wolves like we did with Brandon over there. But I don't see a problem with it. We have this whole junior late model deal coming up with the CRA and all that stuff. Is it CRA or is it ARCA Midwest?
CRA is doing that, Madera, and then I believe Wenatchee out in Washington has started. I saw the story on Speed 51 that Brandon Paul, I got a Brandon and a Brandon here on this one segment. It's kind of flustering me a little bit, but that you guys put up on Speed 51 last week. So a lot of conversation about things, but honestly, from the perspective of the junior late model division, I don't know what you think, Brandon, but I think that's a smart thing from the standpoint of we don't really need more divisions in racing. I don't like that, but at the same time, at least you're giving a forum for these young kids to get that experience before they start going to mess with some of the older guys.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that, and I think Luke Cooper's dad made a good point as well. I mean, putting him a 602 crate late model is considered an entry-level division within the late model ranks. I mean, why would you, as far as wanting a driver to progress and wanting your driver or your son or whoever it is to get to the next level, why would you put them in a four-cylinder, a hobby stock, or a street stock, and they would learn different tendencies and not be as ready when they make that next step to whether it be a super late model on dirt or pavement or whatever it may be. So I'm tending to agree with you guys, but obviously there are a lot of people out there. When you mention anything like this, they think 11 years old is just too risky to put somebody of that size and whatnot into a full-bodied race car.
I'll tell you what. Look at that. My first miss
We
punch
gotta
of
get
the
that.
morning.
We got to get that dollar jar because
That's it.
I think Mamba still owes us like $5 from
Well,
last week.
I was $2 last week. I didn't unmute myself, but a lot coming up on the show for sure. In fact, Casey Roderick will be on the show this morning here on the Morning Bullring. But Brandon Paul, we appreciate you being on. We're going to take a quick break and have a perfect segue because a 14-year-old will join us on the PFC Performance Hotline when we come back. Ryan Rackley, a late model standout, or wanting to be a standout this year after doing so well last year in the Legends car ranks.
Indianapolis 500 winner.
It's New Deal time at East Bay. Bonephod for the third time this week.
Brandon Shepard. He wins all 4 World of Outlaws events.
Scott Bloomquist.
The big win in the Pro Late 100 tonight.
Timmy McCready in the World 100.
Chase Purdy wins.
The Alabama 200 is underway from Montgomery.
Buckle up, y'all. The Pro Late models return to action. March 1st and 2nd, Montgomery Motor Speedway hosts the 55th Alabama 200. Pro Late models. We've got thrills for all age groups. Montgomery Motor Speedway.
3-car spin over in turn number 4. Now it's 4 cars. Front of the field, the track is blocked.
Non-stop entertainment. 55th Alabama 200, March 1st and 2nd. Don't miss it.
Hey race fans, download the new Speed51.com app today. Breaking news, feature stories, the Unfiltered podcast, live race coverage, schedules, and more right at your fingertips. Download it today on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Speed 51's video network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We'll take you behind the scenes.
He's just a meathead. He's always the same way.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, and thousands of on-demand videos. Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the best video coverage.
7:51 in the morning here on the Morning Bullring on Speed51.com, and having a good time. Casey LaJoy, Bob Dillner. We got Mark Keeler, Brandon Ernest, Kendra Adams, Tom Ryan, everybody in the house this morning in Studio 51. And we want to go right to the PFC Performance Hotline and bring in the 14-year-old Ryan Rackley. Ryan, how you doing this morning?
Good. How are y'all doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Listen, we had sun in North Carolina.
I know.
So that was nice. So, Casey felt like the old lady from the movie The Titanic. It's been 84 years is what he put there on Twitter this past weekend. Where are you calling in from right now?
I'm in Virginia right now.
So you're Virginia. What are you doing in Virginia?
My classmates and I are on a class trip.
I heard. So are you on a bus? I mean, where are you calling us from, and what's in store for you, for everybody listening on the Morning Bullring this morning?
Yes, sir. I'm on a bus going to Washington, D.C., and I'm just going to talk about my future plans for my racing career.
That is awesome. But what are you doing in D.C.? That's what I want to know.
We're just going to a bunch of different tourist attractions and just looking around Washington, D.C.
Have you ever been to D.C. before?
No, sir, I have not.
You're going to love it.
I've never been to D.C.
Yes, sir.
You've never been to D.C., Casey?
I drove through it a bunch.
Yeah, we drive by it all the time. Oh, look, there's, there's this, there's that.
There's the White House.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Well, you're going to have fun, and
Yes, sir.
You're doing something that Casey LaJoie has never done.
Yeah.
So, do you think you could be a teacher for him after this field trip here today, and teach him a little bit about our nation's capital?
I might be able to teach him a couple things.
How about on the racetrack? Could you teach him a little bit on the racetrack? Give him the sell for you on what you've done in your career so far.
So I just started when I was young and worked my way up and made my late model debut back in the Myrtle Beach 250, but I ran the Challenger race, and I ended up third in that, so that was good. And we're just gradually moving my way up and just having good people around me.
Well, it sounds like you got a bright future ahead of you, but if you want to teach me some things on Washington, D.C. and all that stuff, where are we going to see you next? Where can I see you on track next there, Ryan?
I'm getting ready to do the PRA Southeast Limited Late Model Touring Series.
That'll be fun. That'll be a good time.
Sure.
And are you with Lee Falk Racing, basically?
Yes, sir. I'm with Lee Falk Racing and Development and David Rudeman.
So last year, you did such a good job in the Legends car ranks. I counted like more than 15 wins or something like that. So how does a young kid like yourself now make the transition from the old push-to-pass Legends car world to the world of a full-fendered stock car?
I really just get in a good environment. Mr. Lee Falk and everybody on his team are taking good care of me, and I'm just really taking it in and learning and just doing whatever they tell me to do.
I like the fact that you said Mr. Rudeman. David Rudeman is going to be working with you this year and helping groom you a little bit. How did that whole relationship come about?
So whenever I was 2 years old, we lived in Florida, and we were 15 minutes away from Mr. Buzzy's shop. And we have a picture of me whenever I was 2 years old sitting in Mr. Buzzy's race car. So that was really cool whenever I was able to sign the deal with Mr. Rudeman.
Now I'm going to tell you something, because I've known David all my life. And I know his dad, and heck, his dad when I was a kid. And that's showing you, that's a long time ago, dude. Okay, you're 14. You are, like, oh, man, you weren't born for a long time. But, Buzzy Rudeman used to come to my racetrack, and I used to love to see that 00 machine come there. But David, on the Cup circuit, we always called him the Beak. I'm going to challenge you right now. Next time you see him, instead of calling him Mr. Rudeman, you can call, hey, somebody told me to call you the Beak. Can you do that for me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I can do that.
You're going to get this poor kid in trouble.
I like that. What's it been like to kind of work with David a little bit?
It's amazing because he's a grassroots racer, and he's worked for everything he's done in his career. And he obviously had a very successful NASCAR career, and he had to work for everything. That
is pretty neat. David and Buzzy, that whole family, they are true short track people. They love their short track racing. And, I know you're running the limited late model series, but I want to know, what else is in store for Ryan Rackley? Are you still doing Legends car racing? Are you just concentrating on the stock cars? And might we see you in some of the bigger races and maybe move up even past the limited late models by the end of the year?
I don't know. If I get enough experience, the main goal is to just get a lot of laps and learn how to drive a limited late model. And maybe if I get enough experience and I'm doing well enough, I can move up and run a quicker late model.
A lot of people talk about how legend cars teach bad habits. They got the big cow pusher in the front to move everybody out of the way. And is there anything you could take from your experience in legend cars and apply to these limited late models, or are they kind of apples to oranges?
There's a lot you can take away from it, because in the legend car, it's a lot of horsepower for a tiny car, and it teaches you car control because you're on the edge in the legend car. So it helped me in the late model if I got loose a little bit to just calm it back down a little bit and be smooth.
And I want to know, for 14 years old, you're on a bus right now going to D.C. on a field trip. How did you get to become such a good public speaker as well?
I'm just always, whenever I was in school, just whenever we had to do a presentation or present a PowerPoint, just do my best to speak well and practice it while I have the opportunity to practice it.
You do a good job for sure, and I know Tanya McAllister and the folks from MPM are doing a good job with you as well. And listen, it takes everything. Couple questions before we let you go, because we have an interview here at 8 o'clock. Number one, have you shaved yet?
No, sir.
Okay. Number two, have you kissed a girl yet?
No, sir.
Okay. I think it's awesome, honestly. Just had to ask those two questions because everybody listening, right, is going, they just want to know these things about a driver that's going to go out there and compete on some high levels of racing. Those are two questions that they would want to know. Ryan Rackley, we appreciate you joining us, and we hope you have a good time in D.C. Take some pictures. Send them to us.
Yes, sir. And everybody can follow my racing career on Ryan Rackley Racing. And I would like to thank Miss Tanya at MPM Marketing, my mom, my dad, Lee Faulton Racing and Development, and Mr. David Ruderman.
Well, thank you so much. Ryan Rackley, you're going to be hearing a lot from that kid, especially this year as he tackles the tough limited late model wars around the Southeast.
Already a professional. Thanking his sponsors, everybody. Come on, Mr. Buzzy.
And he wasn't embarrassed.
I know.
He did not skip a beat when asked if he kissed a girl yet.
Nope. Nope.
Casey, have you kissed a girl?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a very pretty girlfriend. Very nice lady.
I know I do.
I like her. Yes,
she's great. She makes me better.
You and me, okay, have outkicked our coverage.
Yes, we
Let's
have.
just say that. All right, coming up next on the Morning Bullring, a very special interview with the gentle giant, David Rogers. We'll be right back.
Alabama 200 is underway from Montgomery.
Buckle up, y'all. The Pro Late models return to action. March 1st and 2nd, Montgomery Motor Speedway hosts the 55th Alabama 200. Pro Late models. We've got wheels for all age groups. Montgomery Motor Speedway.
3-car spin over in turn number 4. Now it's 4 cars. Front of the field, the track is blocked.
Non-stop entertainment. 55th Alabama 200, March 1st and 2nd. Don't miss it.
Hey race fans, download the new Speed51.com app today. Breaking news, feature stories, the unfiltered podcast, live race coverage, schedules, and more right at your fingertips. Download it today on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Speed 51's video network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We'll take you behind the scenes.
He's just a meathead. He's always the same way.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, and thousands of on-demand videos. Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the best video coverage.
A lot to talk about on the Morning Bullring. Speed 51, Bob Dillner, Casey LaJoy, everybody in the house this morning. And like I said, so many topics that we can hit on. But I think one of them that's very important is we're coming off of Speed Weeks a couple of weeks ago. It feels like we were just there.
I'm still trying to get my sleep schedule back to normal.
Yeah, because you used to sleep until like about, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, right.
Get up and, work until 1 o'clock in the morning. But Speed Weeks is always a lot of fun, especially at New Smyrna Speedway with the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing. And a staple of that community for such a long time has been David Rogers. That famous TM Ranch number 11 car, so successful down there for years. And it was successful again this year, not with David Rogers behind the wheel, but with Bubba Pollard. But it was definitely a little bit, I would say, weird to see that car driven by Bubba Pollard.
Yeah, I that was my third year going with 51, and I'm sure you've been going a lot longer than I have, Mark.
1985.
Mark, I'm sure probably
I got you beat.
You got you beat.
Really?
Yeah, I knew it.
Well, we went to our first one when I was 3 from Boston, and we traveled down every year. So I've been going since 78.
That's awesome.
Yeah, see, he's always got everybody beat at New Smyrna. But,
he's the Florida boy.
It was weird for me. I can't imagine like you and Adam Mackey and you probably been seeing it a lot longer than I have.
it was definitely interesting. And there was a lot of talk about what happened. Why wasn't David Rogers behind the wheel? Why was Bubba Pollard there? And a little bit of a mystery. Everybody wanted to know. Well, I had the opportunity to actually talk to David Rogers. We call him the Gentle Giant. On my couch Saturday night while I was at home here in North Carolina to talk to David about what's going on in his life. Battling cancer, here is a portion of that interview.
I went to the doctor right before Christmas, and right after Christmas I went to do the colonoscopy, and that all started about the 26th or 7th, and then I guess it was like the 29th. It progressed that quick. That's when I went in and did the surgery.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And as far as speed weeks went, originally, I knew I wasn't going to be able to race because the way it transpired. And the deal with Bubba, we talked about it. We've been buddies with him, and Steve Holland from TM's and Sonny, Bubba's daddy, gets along real good. So we kind of become friends over time, and we'd always ask Bubba, why don't you come for speed weeks, And he just, basically said, well, the expense, it just doesn't justify, as much time as you got to spend down there and as much money, and they don't pay anything. So, so I said, well, the car was ready. We wanted to go racing. All my guys wanted to go racing. So I asked them, I said, well, you want to, if Bubba will drive the car, do you want to put him in? And that'll kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. That'll let Bubba do something he's never had the opportunity to do, and let you guys continue to work. And I said, I'm good. They're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm good with that. We've got a good race car, a car that's ready to go, and just because I can't drive it don't mean I don't want somebody in it,
Yep.
So, of course, at that time, I didn't think it was going to be, now this deal here is going to be it'll probably be another 6 months before I'll be back in a race car.
Right.
But it is what it is. So.
Yeah, 10-4.
So anyway, and we talked, and I'm starting to hear, we kind of put everybody off, and then it got to, like I said, it kind of progressed so quickly that I didn't know what was going on, and then you start hearing every different kind of rumor. So we said, let's tell Bob so he can put the real story there so people know what's really going on, because we do have fans and people that want to know, and that way it'll be what's really going on, not just what everybody's saying. I went and had to go to an oncologist, and I've had 2 bouts. I had to go back. I had to have another CT scan done to see how this stuff that's left inside me, is it progressing, because it's supposedly a very aggressive, but that also helps because with it being aggressive, it's very treatable.
Okay.
Because when they do the chemo, basically when they inject you with that stuff, the type that I have attacks anything that gets in your body. Like now it's using me up. Anything I eat, it just devours that, so I can't get energy. I just can't get going.
Okay.
So anyway, so we start treatment on Tuesday, and that's really sooner than what they really wanted to do, but they said, we're kind of, at this point, we're damned if we do and damned if we don't. If we don't start the treatment, then we're afraid, it's going to grow and get worse or attached to something that, cause more problems than what we got now. Hopefully I'm healed well enough on the inside that won't cause complications.
Gotcha.
So I got 6 treatments. They're like every 21 days apart. You take a treatment, you take a pill for 5 days, and then basically you rest for 10 days or whatever, and then go back for another treatment. So,
gotcha.
So basically it started out just being like everybody was told to start with, it started out being a simple surgery and ended up, when I come out, it was a pretty serious situation.
David, it's kind of remarkable, and just talking to you, and you're going through a tough time, okay? And there's a lot of people going through a tough time.
Sure.
But how do you have such a good attitude right now? I mean, are there nerves, or what's going on in your mind right now?
Well, it's Bob, it's scary. The unknown is always scary. What you don't know, and the more I'm around these doctors, and to be honest with you, the scareder I get, because they're like, every doctor is a specialist, and they're concentrating on their specialty, and they don't really take in the compass everything that's going on. Like I'm going to an oncologist that's going to give me the chemo, and they can't understand why my blood does this and that, and why, and then you go, well, I have a bag, I'm not using my internal organs. I'm not really using them right now. So yeah, I'm losing water. I'm doing this. And then it's kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, but they're the doctors. They're the ones that's supposed to know all this. So it kind of makes you nervous to that point, like, oh gosh. But, but as far as being okay with it, I'm okay with it simply because I just feel that it's one of those things that, it's basically in God's hands. If he gives me the strength to fight through it, then that's what'll happen. And as far as I'm concerned, I can do it. And then the doctors talk extremely well about the type of lymphoma that I have, even though it's very aggressive. They say it's very treatable. They don't ever really talk curable. They say it's treatable. And I've talked to some people that have had this had lymphoma for 30 years. They have to go back, they get tested regular, and it'll pop up somewhere, and they'll go in and treat it, and you're good to go. So it's not something that I'm necessarily going to be cured, 100% cured when the treatments are done. But then again, it's something that supposedly is treatable, and I can live a normal life.
I want to revisit just going to the shop today, and just what that was like for you.
Well, it was kind of a good bad deal. It was good because like I said, I've been doing this for 45 years and religiously. I've started when I was basically a senior in high school. I think I was 18 years old when I first started driving, and I've spent, there was a lot of things in my life that I didn't go to, weddings, and because I raced. There was times that we raced. One year we raced 106 races in that year, and racing has been my life. So, to go to the shop and then to wake up from that surgery and then look down and have a bag and have it be in this situation I was in, is like, I guess racing's over, but it's not. It's possible that it is, because really the more important thing is right now is staying alive. Bottom line on it, staying alive, and then obviously if I stay alive, then I can work on going back racing. But it was kind of tough, knowing that the car's going to be sitting there, and we had talked, we're going to let Bubba drive, and then I'll be ready to go to the first race at Pensacola. We'll be ready to go, and I'll be ready to go up there. Well, that's definitely not going to happen, and now we're talking long term, so but it's also goals that give me something to drive for, gives me things other than the main thing is just being with my family long term, but it also gives me that want to go back racing, to get through this stuff and fight through it.
Who's standing by you and helping you go through all this?
Well, the biggest thing is my wife. She's just been a rock. I mean, she's been right there the whole time, right beside me, and saying we can do it, And she has prayer teams. There's people all over the country praying for us and stuff, because she's big into the religious end of it. So I've got plenty of faith in what's going to happen and what is happening.
We were all praying for David Rogers. Good guy. Going through a difficult time. And I didn't think I was going to do that, but he's a guy I was talking to my brother about the other day, that there's so many of those kids that you just go and interview all the time. And, they got confidence. They're cocky. They're trying to make a name for themselves. David Rogers is just a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a guy that I always look forward to. My brother always looked forward to just sitting down and talking to. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm crying. I just hate it when something happens like this to a good person.
Yeah. Cancer is the real C word. And it's terrible. It's terrible to go through. I've dealt with it with my family. My mom had it, and it sucks. But it's something that we have the technology now to push through and to get the right treatment. And it sounds like David has a great surrounding of people, and he's on the right track. And I am confident that we'll see David Rogers back on the racetrack.
And the interesting thing about this entire thing, I appreciate you taking that to have me regain my composure a little bit. But it started out, he has a small car lot, and they were doing a little contest. And that contest was to see who lost the most weight. Well, David started to lose weight, and then he just started to lose more weight. David Rogers has lost 60 pounds, and that's a lot.
Yeah.
And good friends of his wife Melanie, who's standing by him every step of the way, they said, hey, we got to get you checked out. And, David went and he's had, part of his colon removed and went through those surgeries. And this is a cancer that, and you'll be able to hear the longer version of that interview on the Unfiltered podcast this week for Speed 51. And he'll tell the entire story. But it's something that wasn't detected through the blood, this cancer. It's a form of lymphoma. And I just love the spirit that he does have. Obviously, in talking about his wife, he got a little bit of emotional there. But when I spoke to him on the phone the other night, it was just neat because we were just chatting. And I didn't even expect to do anything. I was just kind of recording the interview for a story that Zach Evans and I are putting together for Speed 51. And then I'm like, you know what? We should put this out there and let people hear it out of David's own words. And when I presented them with the idea of, hey, you want to do it on the Morning Bullring, they thought that was a great idea. And the point that David wanted to do this interview was he wanted us to do it to allow his fans to know what's going on, to stop some of the talk, because when something happens like this, there's a lot of talk around the racing community, and nobody knew the real story about what was going on while we were all in Florida. And, Bubba and I had spoken about it a little bit, and we knew a little bit about what was going on, but, David's, had this opportunity, and he wanted to let his fans know exactly what was going on. And, a lot of us have been touched by David's life, and, he doesn't know if he's going to get back in a race car or not. But Brandon Ernest, you've worked with him on the shock front for a few seasons, and, he's that guy. Like I said, the reason why I got emotional is he's just a great dude. And, not that you want anything like this to happen to anybody, but to happen to a guy like David Rogers just kind of hits you home, hits you right in the heart.
I think you're right, and I don't think you could possibly say that loud enough. He's just a great person. All the guys that work on that team, they're the hardest working crew in the pits. they are the epitome of what loving short track racing from the heart is all about. There's no finer example of how you should carry yourself in the pits and how you should treat your competitors and your fans. They're a top-notch team for sure.
Yeah, they are. Steve Holland, that whole group. And my wife, Angie, and I were talking about this the other night when I got done with the interview. And you know, she said, you got to remind people how long Steve Holland and David Rogers have been together for that TM Ranch team. I mean, Mark Heeler, you know, you've seen them for a really long time. And I asked David, I texted him afterwards, and I'm like, how long have you been together? And he just said, more than 30 years. What other team in short track racing around America has been together for more than 30 years?
I mean, I'd even say in any form of racing, short track, big track, anything, 30 years that's a marriage, you know. And Steve Holland, he's helped out quite a few teams. If you go to Pensacola, you've seen him on Junior Niedeken's cars before. You've seen him with Bubba and a couple other guys that famous TM Ranch. But yeah, to be with David for 30 years, it's incredible. And Robert Hart at New Smyrna used to always say there was only one person in the world that had season tickets every year to New Smyrna Speedway, and that was Steve Holland. And just about every January, we'd get that phone call and in the office, and you knew it was time for Steve Holland to get his season tickets. And, of course, he's got that little grandstand section at Pensacola. Huge supporter of racing, but he and David are iconic together. And I don't remember. I know there's some photos out there in the 80s where David had other companies on the car, but you always had that famous horse number. And I'm not a big fan of gimmick numbers or playing with stuff, but I love that for the two horse heads in the 11 because it's so iconic. It doesn't matter what color it is or anywhere. When you see that number 11, you know it's David Rogers, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you're a team that's together for 30 years. You're a family. You know, it's thicker than blood at this point. I mean, where do you go now? You know, you don't have David at least for a while. So you know what's next.
Well, you know, David and I spoke about that, and, you know, I said, you know, do you want the team to continue right now while you're fighting this? And he said, no, not really. He said Speed Weeks was a special circumstance, and Bubba and Sonny, his dad, you know, they're just good people, and they've kind of worked together to some degree over the past couple of seasons, especially with him switching to a Seneca car. So, but he said no, and he told the story about Steve, what Steve told him after Speed Weeks, and he said, you know, it was fun to watch that car going around the racetrack. It was nice to see Bubba win in David Rogers' car, but Steve told him, honestly, it wasn't the same as you in that car. And he said, you know, I don't care if you run 7th, 13th, whatever. You get out, you're grumbly, you're pissing and moaning and mad at the world. He said, I'd rather do that with you than put another person behind the wheel of that TM Ranch number 11. They both love the fact. And David watched. He watched all of Speed Weeks on Fans Choice TV. He followed our coverage. It was very difficult for him. He was really happy that it was Bubba Pollard, who he respects so much, behind the wheel, and that he got to win. But at the same time, David and Steve Holland, they're going to just wait it out, see how this goes. And David Rogers starts his chemotherapy Tuesday morning. And we certainly will be praying for him, his wife Melanie, the entire family, the entire team, because they mean so much to everybody, both here at Speed 51 and the entire short track community around America. Our thoughts, our prayers are with you, and we can't wait to talk to you again, David, and hopefully see you get back in that TM Ranch number 11. We'll be right back here on the Morning Bullring.
Alabama 200 is underway from Montgomery.
Buckle up, y'all. The Pro Late models return to action. March 1st and 2nd, Montgomery Motor Speedway hosts the 55th Alabama 200. Pro Late models. We've got wheels for all age groups. Montgomery Motor Speedway.
3-car spin over in turn number 4. Now it's 4 cars. Front of the field, the track is blocked.
Non-stop entertainment. 55th Alabama 200, March 1st and 2nd. Don't miss it.
Hey race fans, download the new Speed51.com app today. Breaking news, Feature stories, the Unfiltered podcast, live race coverage, schedules, and more right at your fingertips. Download it today on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Speed 51's video network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We'll take you behind the scenes.
He's just a meathead. He's always the same way.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, and thousands of on-demand videos. Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the best video coverage.
8:23 in the morning here on speed51.com. We're glad you are joining us, and a lot to talk about this morning. A lot of races coming up, a lot of races to talk about that just got completed. We'll have Stephen Nasse on the show, the big-time winner at Showtime Speedway yesterday. Alec Jorgensen was our reporter there, and we will have those highlights today here on the Speed 51 Video Network for premium subscribers only. $9.99 a month, $79.99 a year. Casey Roderick will be coming on shortly. We're going to talk dirt track racing as well. The Ultimate South opener at North Georgia Speedway. That's Saturday night. We will be there with Speed 51. Series director Kelly Carlton will be with us. And then, of course, March Madness at Cherokee Speedway in Gaffney, South Carolina. Just over the line from North Carolina to South Carolina, the place your mama warned you about.
That's right.
And we'll all be there this weekend.
That's right. And that's always a race I know that they're excited to get going at Cherokee Speedway. I was the announcer there for a few years, and you do the first race of the year, and that unfortunately for them got rained out this weekend because we had like 18 nights and 18 days of raining.
You almost had to build an ark.
Yeah, we almost did. We had to find Noah. But when you get to that March Madness, that's what grandstands get packed. It's like their Daytona 500. It's the first race of the year, one of the biggest races of the year.
And it's going to be a lot of fun because it's not just, the big super late models of the dirt late model world. That, of course, $12,000 to win will be on Sunday at Cherokee Speedway. Get out there. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of competitive racing. But you also have the Seika cars there with the crate late models. You got the Thunder Bombers. You got all sorts of racing. I mean, you want to see a lot of racing, come to Cherokee Speedway on Saturday or Sunday.
And the ones that the smartest people are there, the ones that stay all the way usually for the last race of the night, which is the Extreme 4, the front wheel drives, because they usually put on a good show. And there's some drama towards the end, which is I think that's why a lot of fans stay.
You know what? Before we go to our PFC Performance Hotline, I think it's time to get some news. I just saw Kendra Adams walk over to the microphone, and that's one thing about this show. We're just sitting here talking short track racing, and it's very informal, very raw. This show is free for everybody to watch on our 5-Star Race Car Bodies Facebook feed on Speed 51, as well as on the site itself. And we hope that you enjoy it.
By the way, Bob, did you see my cup?
Cherokee Speedway.
Right. Look at that.
Love it.
The lights are kind of beaming off of it. I don't know if you can see it. That's the place your mama warned you about.
Yeah, it's so scary that Kendra Adams refused to go there this weekend to Cherokee Speedway. Refused to go there. Okay, she's going to Montgomery Motor Speedway instead with the Alabama 200. That's going to be a blast this weekend, that event on Saturday at Stan Narrison's racetrack. We'll talk to Casey Roderick coming up about that, as well as Stan himself. But, I saw your face. You were like kind of shocked, but you're just scared to go to the dirt track, the red clay of Cherokee Speedway, Kendra.
Okay, so did I unmute myself? Can
you
hear
you're
me?
good.
Okay.
We're good.
So I actually wasn't asked to go to Cherokee Speedway, so I didn't deny going there. But I am really excited to go.
I saw your
to
face
Montgomery,
though,
because you said that I denied that, which is not true. So just touching back on what Brandon Paul, kind of took all of my news points this morning.
Cue the news music.
There it is.
There we go. I live for this music. So, he already talked about the Appalachian Indoor Showdown, where Austin Yarbrough won 4 different races and won over $20,000. I think it was like $23,000 and change. And then he led 3 of those 4 races from flag to flag, which is pretty impressive. And also Ethan Mitchell, Caden Quapple, Jackson Merrifield, and Logan Shockley won other races at the Indoor Showdown.
Anything with the word Appalachian is important.
You're all
I am absolutely, and I will say that pat myself on the old back there. Jeremy and I were talking about a name for that event, and he had something different. I said, you got to put Appalachian in there. So that's how it kind of came about.
There was some drama, too.
Oh, really?
We missed out on some drama with
fights.
Carson Quapple. It was like Jimmy Elledge and Carson Elledge. I mean, Carson Quapple had both the Elledges kind of ticked off at him.
Well, that's interesting. You get the Elledges and the Quapples together. That's one heck of a fight.
Yeah, that would have got rough. I think Jimmy was the first one mad because Carson was making his way back up through the field. Carson Quapple because Carson
Elledge. Yeah.
So Carson was making his way back up to the field, and he's using the Nerf bar a little bit, coming down towards the last 5 laps, and I don't think they really appreciate it because he did it to Jimmy, and then a couple laps later for third, I think it was, he did it to Carson. So they didn't agree with that.
Well, I know we might. I don't know for sure. I got the list in front of me, but I haven't opened it yet. Carson Quapple, I know he put in his entry into the Kawicki Driver Development Program. Will he get selected as a semifinalist? That'll happen 9:30 a.m. right here on the Morning Bullring. What else you got?
Okay, so today at noon, Tom.
Noon, Tom?
Noon, yep. So noon, highlights of Stephen Nassy winning the Ice Crusher 150 at Showtime Speedway will be up on the Speed 51 video network.
Ice Crusher. I love that name.
Ice Crusher, nice. Yeah. So I try to be exciting when I do my news like you do, Bob, but it's not the same. So, and then 10, almost 11-year-old Luke from South Carolina brought up a lot of
Luke Cooper.
Yeah, brought up a lot of went viral, I guess, on Facebook for driving that 602 crate late model. So his dad said in the article on speed51.com that they know it's the right move. Tyler Dipple was running big block modifieds at 11 and winning championships at 14, 15. So, I mean, it's been done before, and he's obviously talented enough to be in that car, his parents think, and I mean, that's what's important. So we'll see how that goes this year. And the Online Racing School State-of-the-Art Chassis Setup Seminar is going to be going on the road in 2019, and one of their first stops will be in, I should ask, Onalaska, Wisconsin, on March 23rd and 24th. So if you want to learn more about how to set up your race cars and, get it from the professionals, then that's probably one of the things you should check out, see if they're stopping by anywhere near you.
All right, Mark, tell us when we're back.
What?
Mark? Okay. We're just waiting. Stream dropped.
Okay.
Ferguson said, yeah.
But I'm recording it.
Well, I guess Tom will have an edit.
So, not to say Brandon was right or anything, but, we are 15 minutes behind schedule. So,
yeah.
We started on time, but we're 15 minutes behind schedule still.
Well, yeah.
It happens.
What happened, Mark?
Are we still down?
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna.
Careful though, you never know.
I know. Yeah, I'll wait.
Yes.
I'll wait till after.
Yeah. You never know.
I will say that there was a lot of discussion I saw on Twitter of a lot of people frowning upon the whole junior late model deal.
Yeah.
And,
so are those junior late models full-size late models?
What was I wrong about?
No, they're actually.
How close are we?
They were mad. I was down there.
What they were mad about was after the race. Because they were fine going into one after the checkers, and then Carson Quapple turned around and ran.
No, that was after Carson
How are we?
Elledge.
Okay.
That was after Carson Elledge doored Quapple after the checkered.
We're going to come back mid-conversation.
Quapple doored Elledge.
This angle on the camera is much better.
I think Mark Keeler just wanted to get a little headbanging music in there. We had a brief interruption, just like those that competed, whether it's the Atlanta Motor Speedway yesterday, the Appalachian Indoor Showdown, maybe the Ice Crusher 50 down there at Showtime Speedway. Some people had mechanical failure.
Yep.
We just had our first mechanical failure of the morning Bullring.
It's Monday.
Basically, it's like a spark plug wire came off.
Yeah.
That's what basically happened here.
It happens.
And you can't run on 7 cylinders, with the morning Bullring. It just doesn't happen. It's like you without caffeine in the morning.
Right. It does not work.
Yeah. We see how grumpy you are.
Oh, yeah. I'll be like a zombie.
Yeah. The zombie, you're just flat out grumpy.
A grumpy
Almost
zombie.
mean. Kendra, do you agree? I mean, he's a little bit grumpy in the morning without caffeine.
He gets grumpy in the morning, and also he loves to make fun of people, including me.
You think?
But he doesn't like to be made fun of.
No, he
and
doesn't.
We found that out at Speed Weeks. Me and Mel were like, Casey, you got to
I'm
calm
like a teddy
down.
bear, all right?
Yeah, by the way,
It's a
Melissa
defense-
Straley
it's a defense
just agreed. She's going with you to the Alabama 200.
Sweet.
So, girl power down there for the Pro Late models.
And
It's
Alex.
going to be a lot of fun. We're sorry that you missed a little bit of what the wonderful Kendra Adams had to say in terms of news, but we're going to kick her off to actually get to the PFC Performance Hotline right now because we want to talk about, not Kendra, but we want to talk about dirt track racing, Cherokee Speedway, the
What
place
time
your
is it,
mama
Bob?
warned you about.
What time is it?
What time is it?
It's Fergie time.
Fergie time, baby. I like that. I wasn't going there, but Fergie. Is it Fergie time this morning, or are you still, cleaning the sleepers out of your eyes?
I'm awake, but first thing I saw this morning was a beautiful beaver dragon with a Carolina Tar Heels shirt on, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, we both have the Tar Heels on. We love it. So you're on our side of the fence. You're a Duke hater and a Tar Heels lover.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, definitely. And my brother's the biggest Duke fan in the world.
Oh really? How does that work in the household?
We don't watch the games together.
Well, we always go by the mantra: Duke is puke, Wake is fake. The one we hate is NC State.
That's
You
right.
can't go to heaven in a red canoe because God's favorite color is Carolina blue. Brandon Paul hates when I say that.
That was a little too much for me, I think.
Why?
I don't know. You just
Was it too
rattled
much
off.
for you, Fergie? Did we lose Fergie? Uh-oh.
It's not Fergie time anymore.
It's not Fergie time anymore.
No.
Keeler just having a rough
You know what
morning.
it is? I think it is.
He didn't have his Red Bull probably this morning.
You know what it is? I think it's just Fergie. It might just be Fergie. Like, he tries to come on the show goes down. We try to get him on the line. Line drops. I mean, what's going on here?
Yeah, he's definitely got a lot working on. Mark Keeler's working on getting him back on the line.
Patrick
right now.
Hahey said to ask me about my staff picks. I've been slacking on my staff picks.
Oh,
but
there is
I'm boycotting staff picks.
Do you have any money?
I don't.
Because you can bribe the commissioners.
Right. I seen where you put 7 picks in one pick at one time.
Hey, I did well.
I was kind of boycotting staff picks because we used to do one every 2 weeks, and now we do 4 every 1 week. So
I think it's ridiculous. Yeah. And I also think that was ridiculous. How part of my point of picking if this person, if that person, if not. Yeah, I mean, how do you know somebody's going to run the whole week?
Yeah.
Picking a part of the picks to have the champions of Speed Weeks was just dumb.
Yeah.
Bottom line. Do we have Fergie back? Yeah, we have Fergie back. Take us out of this, Fergie. What's going on? You ready for the place your mama warned you about this weekend?
Oh yeah, we look forward to this race every year.
So we got the Southern All-Star Series, their season opener. You've won at Cherokee Speedway several times. What's that place like? Is it intimidating or is it just enjoyable to run?
Oh, it's one of the most enjoyable tracks to race around here, and you guys saw at the Blue-Gray 100 in a long race that track changes so much. So you're always elbows up, and you just got to be ready to move around, which, in my opinion, makes the racing awesome there.
Yeah, Cherokee's always been a special place for you. Between Cherokee and Carolina, it's kind of been your 2 home tracks. And we always see how emotional you get every time you win there. How emotional would it be for a win at March Madness coming up?
It would be pretty big. You guys know Ginger Owens just passed away last week, and we were good friends with her and her family. And, in the dirt track or short track racing world, everybody knows everybody. So, there's going to be a lot of drivers out there. Chris Madden, local guys, Ben Watkins. We all were friends with Ginger. So this weekend, everybody's going to do their best to put on a show, and if we can win, with her kids there and Jason being there and all of our family and friends, it'd be a real big one to win for us.
Absolutely, and you can just see the outpouring of support and love on social media for Ginger and the entire family for sure. I know it's going to be a lot of heavy hearts at Cherokee, but at the same time, a lot of good stories, a lot of good times being shared, I'm sure, when we all get together once again, because we've been apart on the dirt track community around this area. And Fergie, you and me have talked about this a little bit. What we're trying to do with Speed 51 is we're trying to give some of that regionalized racing a little bit more exposure, a little bit more prominent feel in the dirt track society, basically. So we're concentrating on the tracks like Cherokee, Lakeview Motor Speedway, Carolina, the Dirt Kings Tour up in Wisconsin, Carolina Clash, and Ultimate, and Fast Track, and that sort of thing. What does that mean in terms of that coverage for short track racers like yourself, especially on a regional level?
Well, it definitely. The fans in this sport love this stuff so much. It's actually amazing how many fans go to these races, and it's nice to be able to follow something like Speed 51 and be able to know who won what and who won where, and not just that, but be able to see recaps and see, get to go back and watch the video when I threw a dirty slide job and ran over somebody's nose.
You wouldn't do that.
So, it's cool to be able to do that. And for me personally, for the longest time, there was a lot of big races that were broadcasted and, that you could go back and watch videos, but there was a lot of really good races, at Dublin, at Fayetteville that, I won races or I had a great race with somebody else and there was no coverage on it. And, the fans need to see that. And not just the fans, but everybody else also. If more people, the more, everybody out there that's not a racing fan, the more that they get to see some great racing, the more people we bring into our sport, and everybody benefits from that.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right on that, and I think Bob's doing a great job in getting Speed 51's feet wet and doing some more dirt racing stuff, and we're definitely trying to grow that part of the crowd. 51 has always been an asphalt rooted community, and now I think we're getting a lot of good feedback from covering the Dirt Series.
Absolutely. And again, we're trying to just expand that coverage. I mean, Dirt on Dirt does a great job from, especially on the national level, on the big stage and so forth. They do a great job just trying to, be part of that regionalized scene to some degree to get some more exposure for those people. But, Casey, I know Cherokee is near and dear to your heart.
Yep.
But I wonder, absolutely, you got the cup by the heart. But, for Chris Ferguson this weekend, Fergie, Bloomer might be coming. He's going to let us know for sure on Wednesday is what I was told yesterday. Chris Madden is coming. You're going to be there. Ross Bales will be there. There'll be a lot of good guys there and a pretty good car count. How stiff is the competition there on Sunday at Cherokee?
Well, I tell you what, it doesn't matter who shows up in the entire country. That 44 car and the 0 car, two of the best that ever raced at Gaffney. So, as far as competition-wise, I look at this race, it's just as hard to win as any Lucas Oil race or World of Outlaw race. So competition-wise, it's just we got to be there. We got to be on hitting on all 8 cylinders, and we got to be basically as prepared as ever. And, not only are those two guys really exceptional there, but the regional guys, Rambo, Ross, Johnny, Michael Brown, them guys can win anytime they unload there too. So it's going to be a good mix of field. You never know who'll show up. I know Mike Marler showed up before. Some guys that I never thought would be there for that race would. So it'll be fun, and not just that, but it'll be tough because day racing at Gaffney is always there's always tire wear and the whole tire game situation for that racetrack, and during the day you really you got to be planned ahead and know what to do. And Blue Gray last year was one on a tire change, so you never know. It might be like that again.
Yeah, and you talked about stepping your game up, for March Madness, and your game really stepped up when you joined forces with Scott Bloomquist. Talk about what it's been like. I mean, he's such an icon for our sport and for dirt racing. Not only dirt racing, he's an icon all over the world. Just talk about what it's been like racing with him and kind of being under his wing.
It's been pretty cool, man. We really worked a lot, kind of hand in hand, just because there's been times where his hauler broke down on the way to the track, and him and his crew chief has came and crewed for me. And there's been times where my brother and I drove down to Georgia. My brother flew out to Arizona and crewed for them. And just like what happened down there at Brunswick, at Golden Isle, we blew up the only car we had ready, and he let me drive his car a few laps down there. It's been really cool. I mean, as far as sharing information, it's pretty cool because our cars are almost exactly the same. Naturally, when he talks, I shut my mouth and I listen, because there's not many people that know as much as he does about how to make a race car go fast. I put him up there with some of the greatest that I've ever seen work on a race car. It didn't matter what kind of race car it was. So, being able to work with him and call them and at the racetrack, bounce ideas off of them. And not just him, but everybody that's part of Team Zero, Dale McDowell, Shane, and Ricky Weiss. And, just there's only a handful of us, but I tell you what, it's a good group to be a part of. And, there's fun things that go on too, like Scott trying to get me to go up in an airplane with him in one of his personal airplanes. And I'm not ever going to do that, but it's pretty cool that he asked me to.
That might be a little bit scary.
Yeah.
I wonder if he has like the top down like he did in that convertible in Florida last year, and the locks just flowing back and so forth. That'd be interesting to go up in the air. But I'm with Fergie. I don't think I'd ever go up in the air with Scott Bloomquist.
No.
But he and his dad very into aviation and preserving the historical part of old military planes and so forth. It's a lot of fun, a lot of neat pictures and so forth that I've seen. I haven't been to their place, Scott. Fergie, but at the same time, it'd be neat to go down there and hang out with Scott. This weekend, of course, you can see Chris Ferguson, one of those Carolina boys that we always root for, at Cherokee Speedway, March Madness. That'll be Saturday and Sunday. Fergie will be competing on Sunday. That is March 3rd at March Madness. Big money on the line. And if you can't make it there, and we hope that if you're in the Southeast, you are coming to Gaffney, South Carolina on Sunday. But if you can't, a pay-per-view style video stream will be available on Speed 51. Fergie, we wish you the best of luck, buddy, and we'll see you there.
Thank you, guys. Have a good morning.
You got it. Chris Ferguson with us. Dirt track guy, Carolina Clash winner, Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series winner, and also World of Outlaws Late Model Series winner as well.
I had to bite my tongue a couple of times because I heard the phone ringing in the background.
He's at the office.
And I know he's at Butler. And I wanted to be like, hey, man, you can just tell them to call Joy C. and we'll get them hooked up.
Yeah. A little rivalry. It was an interesting perspective for sure between Mr. Butler over there, Chris Ferguson, who works for Butler. He doesn't own Butler, but of course your parents own the Joy of Seating.
Yeah.
Great product right there. Your dad very involved in the Safer Racer program, the safety initiative to get a lot of these people more up to speed in the safety aspects, not just seats, but the safety aspects in a race car.
Yeah, me and Chris have talked about it a lot. There was a little bit of animosity, I think, a while ago between, the LaJoys and Butler and Gene Butler and all that. But, at the end of the day, we all have the same goal. We're trying to keep everybody safe. We want everybody comfy. And some people just like Butler, some people like us, and we have our customers, they have theirs. So that's kind of where we're at, and I think they do a great job. But, Ferguson is definitely one of their best customers, and then he goes over to work for him, and he's been great for them as well.
Some big racing coming up this weekend. Not only March Madness at Cherokee Speedway on Saturday and Sunday, but also the Alabama 200 Friday and Saturday at Montgomery Motor Speedway. Let's go to the PFC Performance Hotline right now. Casey Roderick, one of the most successful drivers over the last couple of years in late model racing, both on the pro side and the super side. This is a pro race this weekend, but welcome to the Morning Bullring, Casey.
I appreciate you guys having me.
All right, we're going to actually hand the microphone over to Brandon Ernest. I think you know him pretty well. He's around the pits from time to time, and we're training him here to be a reporter or a commentator. I don't know what we're training him to do, but he's on the Morning Bullring, and he's got the first question on tap for you right now here on the Morning Bullring.
All right, sounds good.
Casey, what's up, buddy?
That's the first question. That's all you got.
That wasn't a question.
What's up?
Yeah, that was a question.
I only have one question for you. Are you going to get us another win in the Alabama 200 this weekend?
I'm sure going to try. That's for sure. I'm going to give it 200%, and we got some good shocks that we can use up. So we'll see what happens.
See what happens when you come? You come here, you don't even pay for an advertisement, and you get an advertisement. Ernest Performance,
I
baby.
know, I like it a lot. It's Casey does a really good job. He's obviously a great racer. They have a really good program over there at Ronnie Sanders Racing. And, going back to the David Rogers thing, we talked about it earlier. Ronnie Sanders is another guy that's been around short track racing forever, and we need those guys. They're very important for the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. Ronnie Sanders, Bubba Pollard's becoming one of those guys. Casey Roderick, I know Casey still wants to go NASCAR someday. He had a little bit of a shot, but not with great equipment back in the day. You got to take every opportunity you can get. But we are proud, honestly, Casey, to have you as part of the short track scene. Remember, use that hashtag, more short tracks, and talk about short track racing because it is really rising in popularity. And do you feel that, Casey?
Yeah, I mean, I still have the desire to do some NASCAR stuff, but the funding isn't there for me, and I'm content where I'm at. I'm really happy with how things are going, and it's just you got to give your 110% effort, towards everything you do, and that's what I'm doing here at the short track level to try to be the best I can be.
Yesterday, Casey, in the Cup race, they did a little, which I was surprised. They did a little piece on Bubba Pollard mid race. Were you upset that it wasn't you? You're a Georgia driver. They didn't give you no shout-out.
You got to think what Bubba Pollard's done. He's traveled all over the country, and I've been kind of towards the southeast, He's gone all over the country. He deserved that yesterday during the Cup race. And, I got to keep working on my program, and hopefully we can venture out some and do what he's doing. But that was well-deserved by him. And, I'm happy for Bubba. He's accomplished a lot over the years. And, being a Georgia boy, I root for him, even though I want to beat him when I'm on the track with him. So it's good to see someone have success like that.
What about Montgomery Motor Speedway this weekend? Obviously, you've been pretty successful there. Am I correct, Mark, by saying Augie Grill was the only person to beat Casey Roderick at Montgomery last year? Yes, indeed, in that Ronnie Sanders machine. So how about keeping that streak alive just a little bit?
Yeah, it's going to be tough this year. We got some other guys coming. Bubba's coming, several other guys that have entered. But, everybody's getting a little better, with their cars and building their programs up. So it's going to be a little bit tougher deal this year, I feel like.
Yeah, I think you're right. And honestly, I have to clarify, you crossed the finish line first in all races but one last year. You were DQ'd in one race. Connor Okrasik won that, not to bring up a bad point, but we just wanted to make sure that we were factually correct here on Speed51.com. But I know you love that racetrack. What makes that place special for you?
Well, I didn't run good there at first. The first year I started driving for Ronnie, I struggled a little bit. I always finished second to Augie, and I just kept working and changing up my line a little bit. And but now it's one of the tracks that I'm really comfortable going to, and it fits the way I like to drive. So it just kind of fell into place there, and now we're really consistent on running good. So, I would really like to be like that in the supers everywhere we go, and that's what I've been working hard towards.
Hey, did you know you had a fan club, Casey?
Well, I mean, I have a little bit of one. I don't know how big it is, but
Well, we actually have the president of your fan club
you guys.
here, Mark Keeler. Do you pay Mark to be the president of your fan club, Casey?
Absolutely.
Well, wait, then I haven't gotten a check yet.
Yeah, they got lost in the mail somewhere.
But,
Do you have a question for the guy that you just love so much?
oh my God! see, here's the problem, Casey. You respect somebody for what they do on the track, and you make sure it doesn't go unnoticed.
We
and then
love
they call
giving
you the
Keeler crap.
president of the fan club because I've been the Bubba Pollard, Stephen Massey, and Casey Roderick fan club. So I guess that's actually 3 pretty good fan clubs.
Yes, we got Stephen Massey coming up on the show.
Yeah.
But Casey, obviously, I think it was 2 years ago you had that season with almost 20 wins, and then last year it seemed like did the competition catch up to you, or do you think you guys maybe got a little content where you were at, or how do you adjust on that going into this year, if that makes sense?
Well, we had some bad luck to start the year off. There's about 5 or 6 races that stuff happened and we didn't finish. We had that trail and arm break at Montgomery, and that was a potential win there. So, just several races like that just didn't go our way. And also we were off a few races as well, and trying new things, and it didn't work. The thing about not testing is, you go to the track and you get 30 minutes to an hour of practice, and you go out and make a change. It may feel better, for a couple laps, but the true test is in the race when you got to run 100 to 125 laps. And, your car feels good right off the bat, but, you get 30, 40 laps on the tires, it's not the right adjustment that you should have made. So, and we've had several races like that to where, we shouldn't have made that adjustment, and it hurt us in the long run. So, not being able to test and things like that, I feel like has hurt us over the last couple years, just knowing where we need to be. But we're gaining on it, and I think we're going to try to do a little bit of practicing this year and see if we can get a little better.
Hey, I want to know, obviously, you're in a relationship with Emily Hodge, former Miss Snowball Derby. And I thought it was really interesting, speaking of Stephen Massey, when you two got into your little deal down there at Speedfest, she was right by your side, dude. She was there to pull you back if she needed to be, needed to do that. What is it like to have somebody like that now every step of the way with you as you progress in your career?
Well, I mean, it means a lot, to have someone stand beside you and believe in you and support you the way she does and have my back when a situation like that occurs. But, hopefully that won't happen again. I was just a little hot after that whole deal, and she just wanted to be right there. But I'd rather her not get involved. It's not her job, but, I respect that she wanted to be there next to me.
That's awesome. I think that's good. Listen, in a relationship, you got to be together on an even
That's
front,
right.
and that's where you guys are at. But, Casey, we appreciate you coming on the Morning Bullring. This race, if you can't make it to Montgomery Motor Speedway, and we hope everybody in that Georgia and Florida and Alabama and Tennessee area can get to Montgomery Motor Speedway on Saturday to see you, Bubba Pollard, and so many others, Augie Grill, run in the Alabama 200. That's going to be a blast to watch you guys there. But if you can't, it's actually live on speed51.com for premium members only. So just for the price of a membership, $9.99 a month, $79.99 a year, you can watch. It's approaching 80 races now for network members. And the Alabama 200 at Montgomery Motor Speedway, they have the Show Me the Money series down there. Those will all be part of that. And Casey, I think that gives you guys a little added exposure as well.
It does, and I think if that continues to be a good thing, I think you'll see companies want to be involved with short track racing, and that's what we got to get going is get bigger companies involved with short track racing, because this is where you tone your skills.
I think we might have lost.
Get some help.
There he is.
I think we can keep building and it'd be something good, to do.
Hey, are you in the woods of Georgia right now? Where are you at?
I am.
I can tell by the cell signal. Tell you what, we'll let you go. We'll see you this weekend in Alabama, buddy.
All right, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're not going to break. We're actually going to keep on going and get the next person on the line. But Casey Roderick, just one of those true nice guys for sure of our sport.
Yes, he is. And I wanted to say that the Alabama 200, 3 years ago was the race that me and Mark Keeler bonded at because we had to ride together, just me and him.
Careful how you say that, dude.
That was like, I think it was the second race I ever worked for 51, and it was me and Mark just trekking it down to Alabama, just me and him, and now I don't even want to ride it.
You're so tight.
I don't want to ride it. No, I don't want to ride it in the car with him anymore.
You have to stop so many times.
No.
Listen, hold on. You can't talk because you got to get Kelly Carlton on the line from the Ultimate Super Late Model Series.
But tell him about Saturday night.
Okay. So,
hold on. Can I tell you about Cherokee first? We went down for a site survey to Cherokee, and the dude had to go pee 4 times in 30 minutes.
It probably takes 55 minutes to get from here to Cherokee. But we were leaving. This is probably 1 o'clock in the morning. We're leaving the Appalachian Indoor Showdown, and we're around the back. And it's like they haven't really finished the whole complex yet. Like there's a lot of mud. So he's like, there's like a sidewalk that he was going to try to drive up, but the mud around it was really soft. I'm like, you don't want to go that way. It's like I stepped in it and my saying it's like quicksand. So he's like, no, we got the left sides on it. We'll be fine. We literally go 2 feet and we're buried up to the frame. I'm like, oh, it's 1 o'clock.
But who got us out?
It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. So
how does the vehicle look right now?
Oh, it's terrible. So he's like rocking it back and forth. We finally get out, and then we get about a mile up the road, and it must have packed so much mud in the wheel that this thing was shaking. Like I felt like we were in a blender or something. It was shaking. We're sitting there talking like, and it was for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
It was like that.
So you feel like you're in a Packer truck, right? Yeah. Going around a dirt track.
Except we were going down the mountain at 2 o'clock in the morning, and
in
things
the
vibrating, and we smelt burning. I thought we were going to die at any minute.
Well, Kelly Carlton's on the PFC Performance Hotline right now, series director for the Ultimate Supers. And Kelly, you've never had that experience with just mud getting in wheel wells and tires and so forth, and then going right out into the road and feeling like your truck or your car is going to fall apart, have you?
Of course. I've been in dirt track racing all my life.
That's right, absolutely. And it all kicks off for you this weekend, North Georgia Speedway. It's going to be a blast to be down there. How excited are you after being like a bear? I mean, I know you went out to Arizona and you had the Wild West Shootout out there and, you took part in that. But to get your series going again, it's kind of like a bear coming out from hibernation.
Yeah, it is. We ended on such a high note last year with such a close points battle. And, other than Mother Nature kicking us in the teeth quite a bit, we had such a great year. It's just wanted to keep it going. So we're excited to get back out and get rolling again.
What's on tap for this year for you? I know Zach Mitchell, your series champion from last year, is coming back to defend that crown. But what is the season shaping up for? Because I keep on seeing some cool things with some new races added, Volunteer Speedway with a couple of big paying shows. What do you like about how things are shaping up for this year?
Well, it really is kind of a continuation of last year. We like you said, Zach's coming back. We lost Kyle this year to World of Outlaws, but that's kind of neat because he's going over there and representing us as our Rookie of the Year. So, but the year really is shaping up to be great. Like you said, we added the 2 races at Volunteer Speedway back, and to get back there is kind of neat for us. 2 big 10,000 to win shows, both on a Thursday night. Which is unique, of course, and, that's one of those correlates with the Bristol race, so that'll be kind of nice to have some of those guys maybe meandering their way over. But, and of course, going back to Virginia Motor Speedway for 2 20,000 to win shows is huge. No other regional series can say that they have 2 20,000 to win one-day shows. Pretty much that's just unheard of, even on the national deal. There's just not a lot of one-day shows like that. So, we've been put a lot of hard work into the program, and I think it's going to be a great year.
Well, you got your opener coming up here in North Georgia. What are you expecting from there? I've never seen the place. How's the racing going to be? How's the track look like? Are you expecting it's going to be a good show?
Yeah, North Georgia is one of those places that's typically kind of unpredictable. I mean, the racing's always good there, but you just don't know if you're going to be wet and hammer down and, that kind of racing, or if it's going to slick up and get really slow and, 2 and 3 wide racing with that track condition. But, this race is typically drawn into 30s of cars, and it's obviously right there in one of the hotbeds, right there in that Georgia, Tennessee corner there that comes together. And so, it's always hard to predict who will come. Billy Moore, your Jr., called me this week about maybe coming over, asked a lot of questions about it. So, it's one of those things that with Cherokee running on Sunday after us, they can, some guys coming that way can stop in and race with us that might not necessarily have come otherwise. So it's a pretty neat deal. North Georgia is typically one of the raciest places we go to.
And that's what I like about the dirt track community. They're not afraid to race back to back to back, and it will be neat because you guys don't schedule on each other. I know even the Blue Gray weekend, everybody kind of worked together to make sure that they didn't stomp on each other's toes on dates. So here you can go see the Ultimate Supers there at North Georgia on Saturday. Go to March Madness on Sunday, just up the road a bit and over the road, I guess, a little bit in Gaffney, South Carolina on Sunday. Kelly, we have you on the show. We got some big news for you. Are you ready for some breaking news?
Absolutely.
Okay. You guys are going to Lakeview Motor Speedway in South Carolina. Are you excited about that?
Yes, I am actually. Always excited to go to a racetrack for the first time.
Well, how would you like a national TV audience on a tape-delayed basis, buddy?
We would be really grateful for that.
Well, guess what? You got it. On Speed 51 Short Track America on a tape-delayed basis, the Ultimate Supers will be on MAV TV this year. Kelly Carlton, your series is going to be on MAV TV, and I know that's something that everybody at Lakeview Motor Speedway is looking forward to, and I would assume that all of your competitors are going to look forward to it as well.
Well, I absolutely. It gives them an opportunity to showcase their sponsors and their talent. Maybe somebody out there see them and want to spend a little money with them and help them along. So, and when your friends and family back home can see you race, they might not necessarily get to go with you all the time. So that's always neat. I know they'll all be excited about being on.
And Lakeview Motor Speedway, I got a chance to go there actually first weekend of the year. We did our site survey there, got all of our lines planned, everything lined up. Mark Keeler and I are excited to go there. We got some interesting camera angles that we're going to be bringing. We'll have onboard cameras for several of the teams, and we'll get an up-close and personal view of the Ultimate Supers at Lakeview Motor Speedway. But what do you think about that place? Because they've been doing a lot of work to Lakeview Motor Speedway, Kelly.
They sure have. Scott's done a really great job. I mean, that place was dead. They resurrected it from the dead. It was silent, hadn't raced in a while, and I know they cooperate quite a bit with Jim Long over at Fayetteville, and they really, really built that place into a really nice facility. And that's one of the reasons we were excited to get together with them and give them a show this year. And I look forward to big things from them as well.
Well, Kelly, we appreciate you coming on the morning Bullring here. Unfortunately, we're just knocking through the guests and making sure that we get everybody on. And we apologize for being late. I know you, as a race director there, series director, you're not late with your card, but we're always seems to be a little bit late because we just enjoy talking to everybody.
I can understand that. I appreciate you having us on and promoting our series.
Absolutely. We'll be doing a lot with the Ultimate Supers as well as Fast Track and all the Ultimate brands this year. Of course, North Georgia Speedway this Saturday night. The Ultimate Supers kick off their season.
We're running a little late. Are we on Dillner time?
Well, I think we're on a little bit of Dillner time. We're on a little bit of, Keeler time, a little bit of emotional times, just a lot of stuff cooking. And, of course, we're going to be this week, Darrell Camfield and I are planning to go down to North Georgia Speedway. We will have those highlights on the Speed 51 network for premium subscribers only. So we're going to have a lot of racing coming up this week.
I'm sure
Montgomery Motor Speedway, Cherokee, you name it.
I'm sure a lot of photos, too, on the Speed 51 Mojo photos.
Speed51photos.com.
Yeah, that
yes,
one.
absolutely.
And the Mojo photo. I kind of combined it.
Yeah, well,
I was thinking of Smug Mug and Mojo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have a lot of good photographers, Daryl and Dwayne and Evan Canfield, Derek. They do a great job for us. They were part of the Mojo Brigade up there, and we adopted them, and they're part of our family, and they mean so much to us. But we got a lot of other good photographers as well. Kyler Hope, Melissa Straley, just so many people around the country. Rick Ibsen that do a great job for us in really getting us that great shot. Especially, I think back to David Rogers and what Melissa Straley did with that shot of that TM Ranch car driven by Bubba Pollard down there with the sunset. That was a fantastic shot, one that Tom Ryan and I are working on. We're actually going to blow it up and put it in our office here because it was such a good shot.
Yeah, I know. That was I saw that and I was like, holy cow, that thing was awesome. I could never take anything like that.
Oh, Mark, you want to speak?
No, I was just going to say Casey's not a half bad photographer sometimes too.
I don't know what you're talking
he
about.
pitches in every now
Oh,
and
he's
then.
good. He's good. We just like to keep him on the microphone as much as possible.
He's loving the talent
Keeler's
roll this morning. Shows up like 5 minutes before we go live.
Kendra was ready to go in and do the whole show.
I'll tell you what happened. I walked down the stairs to my apartment, get in my car.
You fell?
Fired up.
No.
No, that's happened before. Fired up. I look in the rearview mirror. I'm like, oh, crap. I don't have my glasses on. So I had to run all the way back up, find them. They had buried themselves between my bed and my nightstand, so it took me a little bit to find them. It was one of the Monday mornings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good excuse.
It was true. Imagine me looking like this. How weird would that be?
That's fine. We love you no matter what.
I didn't wear glasses until I was 18.
There's a great meme that I've seen. It's a raccoon where they take the black off the eye, and it says your friend when they take their glass. I'll show
That's
it
funny.
to you guys. It's actually hilarious.
Hey, do we have Nassie on?
We do have Nassie.
Good.
We'll see what his Monday morning's like.
Yeah, Nassie, what are you doing on a Monday morning early like this?
Man, I'm waking up from celebrating last night after winning. Man, it was a long weekend for me.
Was it a long night? Maybe a little alcohol involved?
All of the above.
Went from the ice crusher to the beer crusher, huh?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We started practice on that Wednesday. The guys came down and tested. So we went out to the hockey game on Thursday night and did a lot of hanging out all week. But also that involved a lot of working on the race car as well. So it made for a long weekend, but obviously it was worth it.
Yeah, so winning at Showtime, from what I read, that Alec Jorgensen actually put throughout the coverage and so forth, that was the first time you won at the track that you're closest to in your life?
in a late model.
In a late model. But okay, so what did that mean?
It's obviously special. It's just I had grown up racing out there in go-karts. I actually ran my first ever go-kart race out there when I was about 5 years old. My grandfather had race teams out there, and my uncles raced there. It's just a big family deal. Like I said, it's only about 5 minutes from the house. So, that just makes it even more special. It would have been really cool. My grandpa could have been around to see that, but I know, he was obviously looking down and smiling. It was definitely a special deal for us.
Well, you guys have really shown a lot of speed starting out this season and getting this win at Showtime. How are you feeling going into 2019? Is this going to be a really good year for you guys? You're going to rattle off some good wins, and how's that new Seneca car doing?
Man, I'll tell you, I'm going for some big wins this year. We're going to do a lot more traveling. With everything was stocked against us this weekend. We got bad qualifying effort. Just messed up on the tires, and then go out in the race and ended up getting spun out. So I had to go to the rear and come all the way from the back to the front. Just showed incredible speed in the car. So after doing that, and Showtime being such a small, short track, I really truly believe when we go on into the season that we'll be able to click off some pretty big wins. And I'm really looking forward to the Rattler coming up. I have that Kinley is coming up here in a couple weeks. They have another $10,000 to win out there. Kinley's one that I'm pretty excited about. I think the Seneca car will do pretty well there, and it's just shown such awesome speed. Even at the Derby before the incident. So I'm really looking forward to the season.
So what else? You got Orange County coming up. You have the Rattler. That's always a great race at South Alabama Speedway. Make sure you get to John Dyke's track there. That is I believe it's the third weekend overall. I think actually March 17th-ish down at South Alabama Speedway. A great racetrack. Mark Keeler's favorite racetrack is what he tells me. He gives me the thumbs up. But what else are you going to be doing this year that you can inform your fans right now? Because obviously, we saw you out there. You went out west. You didn't go to Speed Weeks. We're not going to talk about that. But you go to the Ice Crusher this past weekend. Got a couple of those big races. What else are we going to see you doing this year with your racing schedule?
Well, I hate to talk about it. Every single time I feel like I tell fans or people ask me if I can go to this race, and I'm like, oh, heck yeah, that sounds like fun, and then it just ends up falling through every time, and it just doesn't happen. That's the most frustrating thing to me because, I really do want to go, and it's just little things are what always knocks it off, and it's just really, really frustrating. But, you're 99% more than likely going to see me at the Slinger Nationals this year.
Yeah, baby.
You're gonna see me the Richmond race. I know we're gonna be there. We're gonna be doing. We're not gonna stay with one series. You're not just gonna see me stick to the Southern Super Series or CRA or pass. I'm gonna do all three. I'm gonna do. Just pick and choose everywhere. I want to go back to South Boston. I didn't go to South Boston last year. I want to go back to South Boston this year. I think there was something about New Hampshire I seen on the schedule. That'd be kind of cool. Just tracks that I really don't go to too often is what I really want to make the trip to this season.
I know you look up to Bubba Pollard. In fact, I think down at the Snowball Derby, we were talking a little bit, and you said, you know what, in a couple of years, you hope to be like where Bubba is in terms of success and so forth as we continue to see you grow as a race car driver, not just from a hard charger to a consistent winner as well. But Bubba went up to the Oxford 250 last year and won. Does that give you more motivation to try to go to these places and try to conquer, say what Bubba Pollard was able to do last year?
Yeah, I've always had Oxford in my mind. The only thing that's kind of held me back is just from it not really being my driving style of the track. We don't really get to go to the flat, round racetracks around here, down in the South anywhere. They just don't have much like that. But Showtime was actually is one of the smaller, tighter tracks that we really go to, and for us to go out there and put on a dominating performance like we did, and never really running there. Obviously, I started racing go-karts there, but that was a long time ago, many moons ago. So I think that it's a good chance you'll see me out doing big things, hopefully right off the bat. Because man, I'll just tell you, when Bubba said that his Seneca car, man, is just really good at certain tracks. I'm just starting to grow on me. Terry's worked with us some to help us get better and get going. But after the Derby, I truly felt like at the Derby, I was one of the best Seneca cars on the track, coming from the tail and making my way up to where I did. And then again this weekend, going from the tail and then passing everybody on the track, not having to move anybody, really racing around everybody. It speaks volumes because, like I said, Showtime's not an easy place to get around. It's a tight racetrack. And I had tons and tons and tons of drive. As a matter of fact, my left front shock was broken at I'd say about lap 25. The shock was hanging on the spring coil. If it would have just popped off, the whole left front, it would have just slammed. It would have been done. But for probably 100 laps, it was just being pinned up by that coil, which is absolutely amazing. I'm going to post a picture about it later. But it's just, the Seneca cars show so much speed and drive up off the corner on tighter racetracks. Oxford wouldn't surprise me if I could go there and be, really good right off the bat.
Well, send us that picture. We want to see that picture. And
yeah,
Brandon,
for sure.
We have Brandon Ernest with us. Brandon, what's that about?
Yeah, why are you giving him broken stuff?
What are you gonna ask Brandon, Steven?
You're not supposed to tell everybody they only need 3 shots.
He helps us out a ton. I wouldn't be, where I'm at right now as far as winning races and running up front if it wasn't for Brandon. He puts in a lot of hard work, with us and the Jet team. And, he does great things for the sport as far as helping people. And I'm sure I'm sure he's seen the picture. I'm sure Chris has sent it to him. But if not, like I said, I'll send it over and he'll just think it's crazy too.
So, Brandon, is that the key? Is that the secret that you're not telling everybody? You can actually just run with 3 shocks on the car and win?
Yeah, that's right. It's like every week it's a flip a coin who takes the left front off and goes faster,
Yeah, we got lucky, man. That was the whole deal. I mean, I actually broke 2 left front shocks this weekend for some reason. Showtime, as far as it has a big apron, and the apron, when it drops off, I mean, there's like 4 inches, 3-4 inches down there. It's really hard on the equipment if you fall off down there. But that's where a lot of the speed is. So I think that's what really hurt that left front shock, was getting down there, bottoming out too hard, and it bending it. Because like I said, that was the second one, which is crazy to me. I never had happen.
Well, everybody can see how rough you are on equipment on the Speed 51 network later today. The highlights will be up there. But, Steven, I want to kind of put you on the spot a little bit. After Speed Fest, CRA Speed Fest, you and Roderick, who we had on the show earlier, kind of got into it. Are things smoothed over, or are you guys just kind of going to wait until the next race you guys are at?
Man, I really can't tell you if he's still butthurt about it or not. He's like the mayor of racing. He walks around, with this smile on his face and makes everybody think he's the nicest guy in the world. But on the racetrack, I mean, I get, nobody's your friend on the track, but just the way he drives some people, like I said, I come from last to first this weekend without touching a single person on the racetrack. And some people want to say I'm the dirtiest driver in racing. And it just blows my mind. I race people how they race me. And I raced Roderick how he raced me that day, and he didn't like it. He wanted to cry about it, talk about, I've won more races, blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't go cherry pick races. So we go race against the best of the best every single weekend, and we don't chase small fields. So if I did, I would have my stats stuffed, but we don't. And that's why, we just have good finishes and not a whole bunch of wins. But, I don't know how he feels. I'm sure he's still butthurt about it, still probably thinks I did nothing, or I did everything wrong. But I'll tell you right now, I ain't thought about it. I don't care. And I'll go on to the next one. I'll probably be just as fast as I was at Cordeal. And, I'll be up there racing with him again, and we'll see how he runs me, and that'll decide on how I run him.
Hey, a race is a race, but I agree with you. The pro late model deal is very competitive, but it's not nearly as competitive as the super late model wars. And I've told Mark Keeler that a lot when we've talked about, honestly, some of the win total that Casey Roderick has had. And we're not going to get into that anymore. But I do, based on our conversation right here, I want to ask you, how do you flip the switch from, nasty to classy nasty while you're out in the racetrack?
Man, it's almost like a team thing too, man. 'Cause, like back, my dad was my spotter for me for the longest time. I just recently got Chris Cater to start spotting for me. But when my dad, when he would get mad, and I could tell me and my dad are so much alike. Anybody that knows us knows that our good attitudes are alike and our bad attitudes are just alike as well. So. It definitely shows, and that's what used to kind of start off is when I could kind of feel my dad's voice get madder. I would get more mad, but nowadays it just happens, man. It's one of them things. When I feel like I'm done wrong, I got to do something about it. And when to me, the biggest problem I think that I've had, and I do agree that it can be a problem because it does cost money, but I also think it gets my point across a little bit better. Is it doesn't do me any good, or I don't feel better about it if I just go up and say, hey, man, you're an idiot. Why you run me like that? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Because sticks and stones will break my bones, but words ain't going to hurt that person at all. So me hitting them with my race car, roughing them back up, that'll make them think twice. So that's where that comes from, is I want them to know that I'm mad because them words ain't going to affect them.
Listen, my dad, he was a rough and tumble racer, and I've told stories about what he did in a figure eight stock car and so forth. And And you and your family, you honestly remind me a lot of the Dillners, because I've been on top of Legends cars when somebody put my brother on the wall at Charlotte Motor Speedway, punching the guy on the inside while we drive, through the pit area. I'll admit to that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's just part of it. But sometimes I admire you, Stephen, because like you said, sometimes you can get out of hand, but at the same time, you have that passion. And we need more Stephen Nassies of the world because not everybody can be vanilla and politically correct. It'd be boring. We wouldn't have anything to talk about. And I love the passion that you have, the passion that you bring to the game, and we appreciate you, Stephen.
Well, and I appreciate you guys and everything y'all do with Speed 51. Obviously, we've been together for a long time doing things, and it's always been a lot of fun. And you guys are a class act, and do great things for the sport. I'm just hoping to go out there, get a lot more wins this season, have you guys maybe talking about me a little bit more. Good things, because I'm always seem to be getting talked about, but I want to be talking about winning.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, Stephen, congratulations on the big win at your home track, and good luck in some of the upcoming events. And, hey, you keep on winning, baby. We're going to keep on having you on the Morning Bullring.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me. Have a good day, all right?
You got it. Absolutely. I love talking to Stephen Nassie because he's honest, and honesty is the best approach. These guys know sometimes, we have some honest discussions in these walls here. That is Speed 51, and that's the way I always try to approach things. I think sometimes that rubs people the wrong way. Stephen Nassie has rubbed people the wrong way. I have rubbed people the wrong way from time to time, but you'll get an honest answer out of me. And that's the big thing. We have one more guest before we get to the KDDP announcement, and the semifinalist actually revealed. But before we do that, let's go to the girl with the news, Kendra Adams. What else you got for us this morning here on the Bullring?
So an exciting race coming up is the ARCA race at Five Flags Speedway March 9th. And the last time the ARCA was at Five Flags was actually 1992. So that's kind of cool. So Inspectra Thermal Solutions will be the title sponsor for ARCA's race coming up 2 weeks from now.
I am looking forward to that. It'll be live on MAV TV as well. Myself, Jim Trado, will be going down to the Panhandle of Florida to see Tim Bryant, Bob Sargent, Adam Mackey, Mark Gundrum, Ron Drager, everybody with ARCA. That is going to be a good race. And the reason why I think it's going to be a good race, Kendra, is because I think you're going to see a lot of late model experienced drivers at that track contending for the victory.
So that'll be a cool sight. Also, the 2019 Ultimate Southeast Tour. They have two $10,000 to win races this year coming up. Last year, they had a really exciting battle for the championship. It actually came down to a tie after the last lap of the last race was over between Zach Mitchell and Kyle Hardy. They finished with 422 points, and the championship was actually awarded to Mitchell after that. And they kick off their season, as you said, North Georgia Speedway on March 2nd, so that's this Saturday.
Is she going to try to not go to that one, too?
She'll be busy that night at Montgomery Motor Speedway. She likes to, keep her clothes clean a little bit and go to the pavement world of the pro late model
You don't want to
scene.
get that denim jacket dirty.
You're not going to see Stephen Nassie there.
Nope.
He's not cherry picking, he says.
Oh. Okay, well, let's go back into some more dirt life. Bob Dylan would say. So Cherokee Speedway at Gaffney, that's March 3rd. That's this Sunday. March Madness pay-per-view on Speed 51 is going to be only $24. So you're going to see a ton of dirt late model action, and they're going to be paying $12,000 to win. And we're also offering, we, as in Speed 51, is offering a late model sportsman race for our premium subscribers only, which you said
Friday night.
Saturday.
Saturday. One of those
you always
days.
do this to me.
You're going Friday, Saturday to Montgomery.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it is what it is. And then one more thing. We do have the Kawiki announcements for the semifinalists coming up today after one more guest. But last year's Kawiki champion, Brett Yaki, was the first person to accept his invite to the inaugural. And this one is like a long... You guys need to change the name, I think. Inaugural Speed 51 Super Select Late Model All-Star Race, which is at Lucas Oil Raceway September 7th.
That's not the name.
Well, that's what it was on speed51.com.
Well, that's wrong if it were.
Well,
I'm sure Brandon Paul's going, I'm
is.
going to text Kendra right now. It's just the Super Select, the Speed 51 Super Select.
Well, that's what we have it on the website. So I was like, it's kind of a long name. So.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. September 7th at Lucas Oil Raceway. Last year, we were planning to have this event, and honestly, I had my reservations when it was presented to me through Adam Mackey and R.J. Scott. But, man, the drivers really embraced it. They love the fact that they would have an all-star race. It's a no-holds-barred, winner-take-all. Minimum $10,000 to win. Second place is the first loser. Doesn't get anything. Bottom line. So there will be a segment race. It'll be 75 laps. A lot of money on the line. Some new policies coming out for the race. A lot of people calling. Jeff Burton has called about the race. Kyle Busch was texting me the other night asking about the race. Of course, you have to win, get invited, because it is an all-star race for winners only.
You know why it's a real all-star race?
Why?
Because it's at a freaking short track.
That's right, baby. That's right. Speaking of a short track, do we have a short tracker on the line right now? We have Stan Narrison, the man, the myth, and the legend of Montgomery Motor Speedway, the site of the Alabama 200, this Saturday at that Alabama racetrack. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Bullring, Stan.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Oh, not bad. I want to know. Oh, look at Stan Harrison.
That's an awesome picture.
We just put up a graphic of you. It's either in an official suit or maybe a driver suit. I don't know where that shot comes from. Tom Ryan. Facebook. Well, what is that shot all about, Stan? You're in a driver suit.
Well, I don't know. I'd have to look at my phone to tell you. What does it look like?
It looks like you're in a driver suit with a NASCAR Wheel and All-American Series logo. Maybe back from the Lanier days. I don't know. Was that?
No. That's my. Look, man, I'm one of those drivers. I still use a 20-year-old driving suit. So that was probably me down at Pensacola for the Sweat Hog race.
I'm liking the sideburns.
I like the race. I got a big budget. I race a $500 front-wheel drive car.
I like that.
Your equipment should match your talent.
So give us a picture, because Stan is a character. There's people in racing that are just boring, and then there's characters. Stan is a character. So where are you calling from this morning, and what are you up to, and what's going on?
Well, we were trying to paint the walls this morning, but it's a little bit too cold, so we're running the weed eater and getting the trophies ready for the weekend. Just doing everything that it takes to pull it all together. The response for this thing, and don't worry, I'll do something crazy before today. But I don't think I'm going to be quite as crazy this week as I have been in the past.
I want to know, do you already have Casey Roderick's name scribed on the trophy?
Oh, how could you do that with that field that's coming?
Who's going to be good this weekend?
That's one of those, coming off of two straight Alabama 200 wins. Roderick would love to get that bear. There's some boys that and boys and girls that don't really want to see that happen. You guys have talked about a few of them that are be here, and I was looking over the field. I think sitting at 26 cars pre-registered, with more on their way. I just got Augie Grill's pre-registration. If any of you guys know Augie, he never pre-registers. So
yeah, true.
He wanted to be sure everybody knew his name was going to be in the hat. So you may want to call Augie that I should go ahead and put the Casey Roderick's name. And look, man, Casey is hot, and he's one of the hottest drivers in the country. When you also have, Connor O'Cresty coming in, and Bubba Pollard, and, the list keeps growing. And a lot of new equipment there. John Boland coming back to take his shot at, maybe get a repeat for the show money deal. So I think Casey and Ronnie really need to, they need to be on the game for this one, for 200 laps.
Hey, Augie Grill was the only person to beat Casey Roderick on the racetrack last year at Montgomery, right?
That's correct. Well, no, actually, Gio got the first race.
Oh,
and,
we were wrong.
He came from the back.
Had a one issue in the hallway of happiness, as we call it here, and Connor O'Cresty got that one. What a great run! But that kid's got some talent, and he wants to win one on the track here. So look out for that 14 car too.
Oh, I didn't have it. They're looking at me standing. They thought I was going to ask you a question. I was trying to adjust Bob's stat because it's actually 2 years. In 2 years, only two drivers have beaten Casey on the track, and that's Giovanni Bourbani, who I'd love to see come back and run your racetrack again because he put on a whale of a show there last year.
We got a story coming out about Gio.
Do we?
He had a tough accident on a motocross bike and broke a bunch in his back. Okay, and that's the real deal story on Giovanni Bramani. And he's worn basically a full middle portion of your body cast. He was down at the Derby and had a shirt over it. Maybe we could tweet a picture. I got the picture of him actually from the Derby with that big cast on. But, in talking to his family and so forth, he's trying to make his comeback, and we'll have more on his story in the coming days here on Speed51.com. I know Brandon Paul, Zach Evans, and the cast are working on that story right now, so it'll be good to see Gio come back and wage war at Montgomery Motor Speedway again this year.
Now, speaking of... Sorry, Stan. I was waiting for you.
That's okay.
But
some of the young talent that's out there right now, a lot of people jump up and down about some of these young kids that are coming into racing. But, I tell you, there's a lot of talent out there with some of these young drivers. And, it makes some of the old guys sit up and take notice because, when Gio was on here, boy, he could really wheel a race car and did really well here, took care of his equipment. So, I hate to hear that that injury, but I know he'll be back with a vengeance.
So, Stan, this weekend, when does all start? When are people going to be able to see on-track activity at Montgomery Motor Speedway this weekend?
Okay, well, we're kicking off. This is a no practice, no testing event just because of the limitations that I have here. So we won't have any track activity until March 1st when we open up for open practice. That'll run from 2 to 7 on Friday. Give the guys plenty of time, get the cars checked if they want, just kind of get into the event. And then Saturday, it's pretty much a one-day show. If you want to come in Saturday, you get a couple of rounds of practice, and then, we roll into the evening. We're starting it a little bit earlier just because of the time of the year. We're opening the gates at 4, and we're going to do qualifying at 5, racing at 6.
Well,
so it should be good. Plus, we got the Modified Mayhem for their opening event.
That's right.
Yeah. Something interesting. Last year, Augie Grill got the Bear, but this year, unfortunately, his car will not be ready. So there's no chance of a double Bear weekend for Augie Grill right now.
And you're talking about the Bear Trophy that you give to the Alabama 200 winner now being moved to the springtime, this year. And you promised me we were going to get one for Studio 51 here, and you haven't lived up to that promise yet.
Well, I tried to go by the Georgia Hall of Fame, take one of Casey, but they kind of closed me down there. The other thing is, if you want, I'll get in the car and bring it right now. I don't know if I'll make it time of the show, but
we can't talk that long.
There.
We might have lost. Did we lose you, Stan? You there?
No, I'm here. I'm here. You here?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, good. But we'll get you a beer. Maybe I'll bring you a live beer.
You know what? I think
a live bear.
I think. Oh man, no. I think you need to let Bob actually win something before he brings a bear. Like maybe at least play him in cornhole or something.
I think Stan and I should run the Sweat Hot Grand Prix next year.
I think Stan's got a great challenge for Bob. Stan has this bike down there, and the Bramani thing made me think of it. And it's always fun because Stan will challenge people in the grandstands if they can ride. What is it, 10 feet? You only got to go about 10 feet on this bike.
Yeah, if you can just get on the bike and go 10 feet, I put up $100, and I'm gonna keep increasing it until somebody finally rides this bicycle, Bob. So
what does it have? One
come
wheel?
Down. We'll do a
That's
bike,
let you
ride the bicycle, and then you and I will race bus.
I'll do a bus race with you. I don't ride bikes.
He's really perplexed on this bike.
Yeah, I am.
The bicycle, basically, when you turn right, the front wheel goes left, and when you turn left, the front wheel goes
I've
right.
tried to ride one, and it is so hard.
We've got a ton of B-roll of it. It's fun to watch because I think there's only one person at the track that can ride it, and, of course, that's the one that Stan says, look at this kid go. But watching the people, these big, alpha males that are just, kings and all that they can't do it, and it's absolutely hilarious.
It was pretty funny, and the kid told me he can add one more sprocket, make you have to pedal backwards to go forward. So once somebody figures it out, we'll make it more complicated.
Yeah, I'd like to see you ride that one, Bob.
No, I might have
That's
to
how
pass
you get the
on that
bear.
one.
If you
I'll
ride
do
it, you
the
get
Sweat
a bear.
Hog. No, I'll do the Sweat Hog Grand Prix or a bus race or something. Stan can bring me in. I came into Montgomery Motor Speedway from Atlanta Motor Speedway, flew in a little plane, a 2-seater, a couple of years ago, just to get down there to that racetrack. It's been a while since I've been to Montgomery, but I'd love to come back.
Well, it's a great facility, folks. If you haven't been here, you need to come and check it out. If you haven't raced here, you need to put your big boy pants on and come race. It's a neat place. Been here since 1953, big half mile, and kind of flat for the South. I don't know if you saw on our registration, we have a driver coming from Maine to race with us. And I want to point out how excited he was. Speed 51 would be doing coverage for this event, so his friends and family back in Maine can enjoy the race with him. And we want to thank you guys for doing that.
Yeah, no problem, Stan. And, you talk about that live broadcast, and everybody will be able to watch it. How big of a deal is that for you as a track owner and promoter? How does that really help you throughout the year with these races being live?
Well, where it really helps is, of course, my local guys and the sponsors all want the exposure, but I think where it really helps, because we draw cars from all over the Southeast, out of Nashville, down to Florida, it gives folks, at least their fan base can keep up with their racing. Of course, I'd like everyone to come to Montgomery Motor Speedway, buy a ticket, and sit in the grandstand, but that's not realistic. And to take the product that we have here at Montgomery Motor Speedway and put it out there so people can see what it's all about, check the racetrack out. And I just think that it helps strengthen our late model program and also our local division because, these guys, they like the coverage. And they love having Speed 51. You guys do such a good job.
Well, Stan, we appreciate you coming on the Morning Bullring, and welcome, first-time caller to the Morning Bullring. We're excited about the Alabama 200, buddy.
Well, we are too, and definitely want to see folks come on out, hunt for the bear, and we'll get it done.
We need we need a little sound, the first-time caller. And
I know. Yeah, Mark's got this little thing that he could press up there with all these buttons. We got to get him to program it.
He's a fancy bunch of it. No,
that one will be good. Tell you what. On that cue, let's go to break here on the Morning Bullring. And coming up next, we're only about 10 minutes behind schedule. Brandon Ernest, that's not too shabby. Okay, the Kowicki Driver Development Program semifinalists reveal coming up next here on the Morning Bullring.
Race Car Engineering is your single-source supplier for all your racing equipment. Dirt, asphalt, drag strip, street rod, or off-road. Their experts can keep you on the track and in the lead no matter what type of racing you do. Hundreds of brands, thousands of parts. Find them online at racecareng.com or call them toll-free at 800-882-7231 and make sure to ask for your free catalog. That's Race Car Engineering, 800-882-7231.
Speed 51's video network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We'll take you behind the scenes.
He's just a meathead. He's always the same way.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, and thousands of on-demand videos. Speed 51 Network. Short track racers' home for the best video coverage.
Get ready for the 2019 live broadcasts of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. The series kicks off with the Super Bowl of racing from the Golden Isle Speedway in Brunswick, Georgia, Friday, February 1st and Saturday, February 2nd. The live racing action continues the following weekend with the 43rd Annual Winter Nationals from East Bay Raceway Park in Tampa, Florida. Friday, February 8th and Saturday, February 9th. Live on MAV TV.
We're in overtime here on the Morning Bullring, but this is a planned overtime, even though we're about 12 minutes behind the schedule.
I like overtime music.
You digging it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh.
That's DJ Jazzy Mark Keeler.
DJ Jazzy Keeler.
Most people go with the obvious Marky Mark, but okay, I guess we'll
we're going that way.
DJ Jazzy.
I don't like Marky Mark. Anyway, it's a little too cutesy for you, Marky Mark.
Cutesy?
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg?
Well, back in the day, yes.
Are we delving into something?
Isn't that Boys to Men?
Something.
No, it wasn't Boys to Men. What was
No,
it?
was
New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the Block. Sorry, I had my wrong group there.
And that wasn't Mark Wahlberg. Marky Mark was Donnie Wahlberg's brother. Donnie Wahlberg was in New Kids on the Block.
Oh, that's right. It was Donnie.
Marky
I never
Mark
listened.
and the
I was a
Funky Bunch
hair
did
band
Good
dude.
Vibrations.
Hair band, pure hair band.
Well, I grew up in the same town that Joey McIntyre was born in, from New Kids on the Block. Need a mess.
My girlfriend refuses to call him.
He's from
Wahlberg.
everywhere. He's a mutt.
She calls him Wahlburger because she said
Wahlburger.
Wahlberg sounds weird. So Wahlburger.
Well, that is the
rolls
name
off
of
the tongue.
their restaurant,
Yeah,
Wahlburgers.
Wahlburger.
Is it?
Yeah, and supposedly it's actually really good. I know. I've looked at the one in Orlando.
Tom says no.
And well, there was like a 2-month waiting list last time I checked at the one down in Orlando. So it was something stupid like that.
Do we have like a trumpet horn or a drum roll?
No.
We don't have anything?
No.
You got to get better on your game with your sound
Hey,
effects.
I
dude.
got
You
4
brag
new
about-
songs. I got 4 new songs in this thing
Dude,
this morning.
I want sound effects.
We're getting there.
This is now
get
that
there.
we're really getting into the show and stuff. we need more of that like pizzazz.
Really getting in. We had a
Dun,
drop
dun, dun,
collar.
dun.
We had the stream
well,
drop.
He doesn't quite earn the name that's behind him yet. He's not quite the smooth.
Oh!
operator.
That's why I'm standing like this. So it's just
He's just operator.
I'm just the operator.
Just the operator. There you go. Well, it is time to have the reveal. The
So we're
Kawicki
gonna-
Driver Development Program semifinalist will be announced here today live on the Morning Bullring. And this could be like really good or it could go really bad, honestly, because we're going to basically cold call a lot of these people to let them know that they are now a semifinalist. Basically, you had a chance by going to the site for the Kawicki Driver Development Program. You got to enter. It's kind of like entering a race, okay? But now you got to qualify for the race.
Yep.
Okay? So these are the people that the board has gotten together and they have selected to be the semifinalist. And then further evaluation will go on by the board and so forth. And there's a little bit of a process to it. And then 7 drivers will be selected because, of course, Alan Kawicki made the number 7 famous in his time, in his career, the late Alan Kawicki, the former NASCAR Cup Series champion. And this program honors what he was and what he brought to the racing community. He was a smart guy. He was an engineer. He was a mastermind. He was a great wheelman. And his legend basically lives on through this program. And we've seen a lot of great drivers come through this program. Brett Yackey, who Kendra just spoke about, last year's champion of the series. He was part of that program. And his family is just infamous in the western part of the United States within the short track realm. And, I like the fact that Tom Roberts, the entire board, really brings this to life, and it is the only true driver development program in America right now because most driver development programs, you have to bring money to participate. This program gives you money to go and race.
You know what? I think you said you're not sure how it's going to go, good or bad. I think it's going to go, calling the winners is going to go a lot better than if we had to call the ones that weren't selected.
Yeah, and this
We'd
is
have to censor that.
Yeah, we would. This is just part of the program. Like I said, this is just the semifinals.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
it's still a long way to go.
Yeah, and Kendra Adams actually knows a little bit about this program. We're going to have her on the microphone just to talk about this program a little bit. And she was a semifinalist last year. After the semifinal round, Kendra, what do you have to do to try to prove yourself? You didn't make it to the finals last year, but you're hoping to again this year.
So basically after you get chosen to be a semifinalist, it's kind of awesome and it's a really, really good feeling because so many people apply to this great program and so many people are looking at you during this, application stage. And then once you become a semifinalist, you have a over-the-phone interview first, Tom Roberts, he asks you a bunch of questions, and there's a ton of other people on the board. And if they're not live on your call, then they get to listen to it later. So, it's really, you have to think about what everybody's values kind of are and like how you would fit well in the program. So once you do that, there's a lot of social media stuff involved, and it's just all about showing like who you are on and off the racetrack, which is what's so cool about the Kawicki program is it's not just on track. They also develop you as a person and as, a community involved.
Well, I think it's time to reveal some of the list that we'll have, and we'll announce everybody. We're going to call some people. We're going to have Tom Roberts on our program in just a little while. We got a lot of people to call, and honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't know why Kendra Adams just walked away from the microphone.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Because I am proud to say that Kendra Adams will be the first person revealed as a semifinalist for the Kawicki Driver Development Program in 2019.
Go ahead and call her. Go ahead.
Kendra, are you on the line? Okay.
Can you hear me?
How do you feel about being a semifinalist again?
It's really, really exciting. It's honestly an honor. I cried last year when I found out, but I didn't this time, which is nice. So,
because you're live.
My mom's like, "Are you gonna cry?" And I was like, "I better not, because that's embarrassing." But yeah, it feels really, really good to be, a part of it again. And I think I learned a lot. Learned a lot about on track, off track, and a lot of the values that is shared in the Kawicki community. So I'm really excited to be a part of it this year, and thanks for, having me here today. It was really exciting to get to be announced like this.
See that? I knew that all morning long the last couple of days, and I was trying not to reveal anything
this
to
morning,
Kendra.
You're like, "Oh, you applied to the Kawicki program?" Oh, I'm like, "Okay, stop." Like, that's not funny.
Well, obviously we're homers, and Kendra is part of the family. So the first thing I did when I got the list, I went to look to see if Kendra's name was on it. And fortunately for me, I didn't have to look too far because it goes by alphabetical order, and Kendra's name was first on the list.
Wait, put me back on the camera. Hold on. Do you see that?
There you go.
On today.
There you go. She's got it. So you can stay on with us, and Casey and I will talk. And Mark's going to get the next person that we're going to call.
Maybe
we're gonna.
Are we doing it live? So I'm like,
we're going
to hear it ring, and we're going to hear them answer.
Yep.
And
You're calling the first person that I gave you, right?
Yep. And then you're going to be the one talking to them.
Bill O'Reilly.
Okay. Exactly. Yeah.
Bill O'Reilly.
So this is just really raw here this morning, and we're going to call the first person and see if they answer, see if they're up or maybe they're, just
we're probably about
hanging out.
Well, it's
might be
10
working.
O'clock. It's 10 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
What if they're in school and we get them in trouble?
Well, that would be funny, honestly. That'd be good TV. I will say that Michigan driver Kyle Crump is actually a semifinalist. So, Kyle Crump, congratulations to you on making the semifinalist. But I understand we have somebody on the line right now. Is this Cody Connor?
Hi, how are you?
Cody Connor, it's Bob Dillner live on the Morning Bullring.
Awesome.
Awesome. You know why I'm calling you, buddy, don't you?
Pretty good feeling.
Yeah, you're a semifinalist for the Kawicki Driver Development Program, buddy.
Woo! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So,
I like it.
So what does this feel like?
It feels like a dream come true, honestly. I mean, just to work so hard and to show or to have something come back from all my work, it's something that's amazing, and it's just going to drive me to do more.
You still got a little bit to go to make it all the way. So how's that going to be? Still a long journey up ahead.
Just to never stop. We haven't had the best couple seasons, but we're still strong every single race. And this season, 2019 is definitely going to be one for the books. Just keep on working as hard as I can to try and keep digging.
Well, Cody Connor, what's the first race on tap for you coming up here in the next couple of weeks?
Sadly, Dillon was canceled, but we will be at Kinley, Southern National Motorsports Park on March 9th for the Cars Tour.
I'll be down.
Absolutely.
I'll be down.
It's going to be fun. Cody Connor,
Awesome.
Congratulations, buddy. Congratulations. Live on the Morning Bullring. The first call-in, we announced Kendra Adams just a little while ago. We announced Kyle Crump as we got you on the phone. You're the third person that knows you are a semifinalist for the Kawicki Driver Development Program. So it's pretty neat to see Cody Connor get the nod this year. Now he's got a little competition ahead, Kendra, and I know you're going to be bringing it.
Yep.
Yeah. For sure, I'm gonna be bringing it.
Well, you weren't bringing it there.
I wasn't looking. I wasn't paying attention. I was creeping on Mark's phone.
Tell you what. Can you tell me a little something about Danny Benedict?
I can tell you a lot about him. What do you want to know?
Well, why should he be on the program?
So he was Ontario's provincial champion for NASCAR Wheel and All-American Series, and he was runner-up at Sunset Speedway, which is my home track.
Well, how are the two of you going to compete for the 7 spots? Because he's in as a semifinalist as well.
Woohoo! That's exciting. Yeah, that's really exciting.
Explain.
Sorry. It's really exciting for him. I'm just going to talk on his behalf. It's exciting for him, and he's excited, and him and his family.
How do you know he's excited?
Oh, because I know everything.
Oh, you're not revealing something here? I don't know if the entire public knows stuff.
Well, you called it out like 2 weeks ago on the morning Bullring. So Danny Benedict is my boyfriend back home. So he's at work right now. I hope he's watching this. And yeah, he's excited to be a part of the program, and he.
What happens if you make it to the next round, he doesn't, or vice versa?
Oh boy.
I don't know. I think my mom's nervous to see what's going to happen for the finalists. I'm not as nervous, but I mean, either way, we'll be happy either way.
So we're going to continue our calls here this morning, but I will tell you as we go down the list as well. Now we have Kendra Adams. We have Danny Benedict. We called Cody Connor. We talked about Kyle Crump as well involved. Wyatt Brooks is also going to be part of the program this coming year. He is out of Wisconsin, so a big congratulations to Wyatt Brooks. We're now calling into our next semifinalist. We'll see if he picks up the phone.
We should leave him a voicemail.
We will. That's a good idea. Yeah. Good idea. Let's see if we can do that. Yep. We're trying to get our next guy
we'll get a call back
on the phone.
Hello?
Oh, I think we got a wrong number. We apologize. How about that? Wrong number here on the morning Bullring. We'll make sure maybe there was a typo or something. I'm going to send you the contact, Mark, and you guys can continue to talk.
I think Mark's fat fingers.
Oh, Mark's fat fingers. So basically, we crank called somebody
That is
this
super
morning.
embarrassing.
That's already happened. That used to be a TV show on MTV.
Yes, it was. Absolutely. We should have just ran with it. Hey, congratulations.
Way to go. You've been selected for
And then you get hung up on because they're like, this is fake news.
This is scam.
Yeah, exactly. We'll try it one more time.
Yeah.
One more time.
If that same lady picks up, we might as well just roll with it.
If not, I'm going to forward the contact to Mark out of my phone. But let's see if this person picks up, of course, where we are revealing these.
I think this one might be in school.
Semifinalist. I think you might be. That's why I was wondering when it was taking a while. But we'll leave the voicemail. That's okay. Hello. You are live on the morning Bullring. Is this Carson Quapple by any chance?
No, it's his dad.
Oh, Travis!
I was like, whose phone number is this? I don't know.
Bummer, dude. Is Carson in school?
Yeah, I was hoping you would call his phone because he's got a funny voicemail.
Okay. Darn it. Well, tell you what. Do me a favor. Text me the number, and I'm going to leave it on his voicemail since he's in school.
Yep.
And we'll
All right,
reveal it
that's
to
awesome.
him.
I'm pumped for him. We're excited about this program.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Dad. You've done a thing or
Okay.
two in your career, but I know you're going to have a lot of fun with this program this year.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me this morning, and give him a call. See if he answers.
I will.
I hope he doesn't.
Text me that number, bud. Oh, man. This is a lot of fun.
I know.
A lot of fun. We're going through the list.
Can I call someone?
Can you call somebody?
Yeah, can I give someone the news?
Who are you going to give the news to? Because we already talked about Danny Benedict.
Well, yeah, but I want to call someone. They're going to be like, who is this girl calling me right now?
Yeah, that's true.
And
Well,
then,
we just had that happen, actually, live on the air.
Yeah, it was
So-
some rando that we called. And
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
like, that ain't, that's not Carson.
I'm waiting for the text here. Here we go. I'm going to send it to Mark right now because he's our designated caller, even though he did so well on the first one. That was funny as heck.
I got one right. I'm one for one.
Yeah.
So
yeah, sometimes the phone frees up a little bit.
Who's gonna pick up this time for Carson Quapple? First time we had some random chick. Second time it was his father. We're gonna have his teacher pick up.
Hey, what about this next person? What do you think about Jeremy Doss being on the list again?
Jeremy
SRL
Doss.
champion from 1 year ago.
And
That's pretty impressive.
He's been running some mini outlaw stuff as well.
Just sent it to you, Mark. Airdrop, baby.
We need to get him on the horn to see if he's gonna come out for the Speed 51 Open at Millbridge Speedway. He's been running some
He
mini
has.
outlaws.
In fact, I think he ran it this past weekend. Is this? Yep.
Is this Carson?
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna leave him a voicemail here. He's in school.
We need to tell
still
him
a
that
teenager.
This is Jimmy Elledge calling.
Yeah. Oh man, you talk about raw TV. This is raw TV right now. Jerry Lewis used to have the telethon. I don't know how you do this.
Hello.
Carson
Just
Quapple.
kidding. I'm not here.
Oh.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished
got
recording,
us.
you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Carson Quapple, it's Bob Dillner and Casey LaJoy, and Jimmy Elledge came by the shop here this morning and had some things to say about you, and we just want you to call us back because we understand there was a little bit of an altercation, and we need to do some investigation on what happened at the Appalachian Indoor Showdown in Wytheville, Virginia. So Speed 51's doing a major investigative story on this. And by the way, you're part of the Kawicki Driver Development Program as a semifinalist this year. So congratulations to you. We're leaving you a voicemail.
Yep. Don't pick this up in school. Pay attention.
And we were just kidding about the Elledge thing.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk to us, give us a call because we understand there's a little story there.
Yeah, if you want to talk to Jimmy Elledge, you might have to call back a different number.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, congratulations. That's the voicemail. And give us a call back, and maybe we'll do a little story on you or something. Congratulations, Carson Quapple, in school. And that was a unique voicemail. I will say that. You can hang up now.
Yeah, hang up.
We'll go down this list a little bit more, too. Luke Fenhouse is also part of the semifinalist brigade. He is out of Wausau, Wisconsin, home of State Park Speedway.
I like that name, Wausau.
Wausau,
Wisconsin.
That's right, the Wimmers.
Can't see that far.
You can't see that far? Come on.
You were just on who? Dylan Garner?
No, I was just on Luke Fenhouse.
Okay, well, Dylan Garner is
There you
up
go.
next on the list.
Yep. So he's out of Yorba Linda, California. So Dylan Garner on the list. We can make our next phone call. We'll just keep on talking until we get that person on the line. Yes, we are going to right now. He might be in school too, honestly.
Hello.
Paulie.
Yep.
Paulie, Bob Dillner, Casey LaJoy on the Morning Bullring. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Hey, before we get into talking about anything in particular, because you are live right now, so don't say anything messed up.
Yep.
Okay, because we know you're a little bit wacky. But what type of hair do you have right now?
Well, it's a normal color, and I'm trying to grow a mullet.
Oh, yes. Rico Abreu, baby. Rico Abreu style.
Oh, that is awesome. So where is it at right now?
It's at that point where it's not long enough, but not exactly short,
Okay, so the fro's gone.
Yeah.
The fro's gone. Yeah, we're full send into a mullet.
Okay, so you're going to have to text me a picture of what you got going on, and so we can do a little story because, we have a lot to talk about this morning because you are a semifinalist for the Kawicki Driver Development Program.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah. So
That's sweet.
That's what we're calling people live this morning. Yep. You're from Portage, Indiana, and we're just letting people know that you're part of it. So now you got some work to do because you got a lot of analysis and interviews and some social media to do to try to get yourself locked in to the top 7 to get that $7,777.
Well, I tell you what, I was still on my way to work out in South Bend. I mess around with the junkyards and stuff with my dad, but I'm on my way to work. I'm like, I really need to build up this social media thing I got going, and I've been trying to post on there in the last week. I'm like, well, I post about that John Travolta movie, Trading Pain. I didn't think it was that good, but now I'll post about being a semifinalist in the Kawicki program. That's awesome.
There you go.
You know what you should do? There's the Rico Abreu has the hat at the Chili Bowl. And then Boris said had the old said head. I think we need something with like a Schaefer hat with whatever hair he's.
I'd wear it.
I'd rock it.
You're
gonna do a hat with a mullet coming out of it. Yeah.
Get a bunch of people with the curly hair flowing out the back.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it'd be good. What are you doing this year with your racing schedule?
So right now we're scheduled to run the Midwest Tour, and then we run around the Slinger Nationals and maybe a couple specials. Nothing too crazy or different from what we've done in the last couple of years.
Well, that's pretty cool. Well, congratulations, dude, for sure.
Thanks.
We're just calling people, so we're going to get you off the line and keep on calling people. Is that okay?
Yep. that works for me. I appreciate you calling me and letting me know.
Congratulations, buddy. Paulie Schaefer, good kid, second-generation race car driver, and he is a semifinalist as part of the Kawicki Driver Development Program.
Yeah, first time I ever saw him was at Speed Weeks 2 years ago, I think, when he decided to come and run. I'm like, holy cow, this guy's got the mustache, and then he's got the hair, the fro going on. Looked like he had the said head on. But moving down the list, Grant Greisbach. I think that's how you say it, Greisbach? Did I say it right?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth.
Greisbach?
It's either
Greisbach?
Greisbach or Greisbach.
It looks like it's right.
Yeah, it depends. Depends on what part of the country you are from. And he is a kid from Wisconsin, so you never know how they're going to pronounce it up there.
Yeah. That's what it's like Brian Campbell.
Yes.
Next one down the list, Derek Griffith, back on the list again, and we all know about Derek Griffith as well.
We're just going to call him.
Just going to call him?
Yeah.
Good job, Casey.
I figured you'd go for like the guys that,
I'm sorry.
we don't have the numbers for. No, we do have everybody's number, and we keep on going. In fact, Mark's going to call him right now, and hopefully he's not watching. Yeah, sure.
All right.
Why not? Why not?
He's going to be like, who is calling me?
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
Like
well, it's from a 386 number.
Why is this rando calling me?
Yeah, exactly. I'm working on some other stuff right now.
I'm just going to change my name to Rando.
Rando Keeler.
Hello.
Hey, Derek, it's Kendra calling.
Hey, Kendra, how are you?
Good. How are you? Do you watch? You are live on the morning Bullring.
I could have got really bad.
I was just watching.
Oh.
So I spoiled.
So you
the
know.
surprise.
Okay, so
I
spoiled the surprise.
I just heard my name get called. That's awesome.
Sorry, Derek.
You ruined it, Casey.
I'm sorry I ruined the surprise, but congratulations, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm actually wearing my Kawicki shirt this morning.
Copycat.
You and Kendra are twinning.
You made it on as well?
I did, and I even have my shirt. I thought it might be good luck.
Congratulations.
You too.
You said you were going to have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
Well, then Casey ruined it. Like,
no,
I was
keep on going. Keep on going.
Bro.
All right, so what are you doing this year, Derek? How's your lovely girlfriend that you love so much?
She left at like 5 o'clock this morning. But plans this year, we probably same deal as last year. We want to try to run some big races. Maybe the Derby again. Pass. We're going to run as much pass races as we can. We just want to race like as much as we can all year. We're going to try to run races everywhere. That new Fury car is hauling the mail, so we're going to try to run that thing a lot. And we're looking forward to Richmond.
When's the soonest we're going to see you down here in the South?
Probably Richmond. We had that race scheduled for last weekend at Dillon, but it got pre-called because the rain. The forecast was awful. So,
dude, it's been raining for 40 days and 40 nights here in North Carolina.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
Ridiculous. We left the great weather of Florida, and we come here and just get rained on.
Well, it rained a lot in Florida.
It's better than snow.
Like 2 days.
Yeah, it's better than ssnow. Stop crying.
Right.
Stop crying, LaJoy.
But at least
I'm not
snow's
you
pretty.
whiner.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I like sun.
Whatever.
Even though I look pale, I like sun.
Yeah. You got that red forehead.
Sun doesn't like me, but I like sun.
Well, D. Griff, congratulations, a semifinalist, and now you got some work to do, buddy.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Love watching this morning Bullring deal. It's pretty cool.
Thank you, buddy. We're going to get the next person on the line, and maybe you won't give this one away. Should I highlight who you should say next?
Yeah,
how about this? There you go. Can you read that?
Austin
you got your glasses?
Herzog.
Yep.
Austin Herzog made the cut from Clovis, California.
Clovis, California. So congratulations to Austin. We're getting another person on the line here just momentarily.
Hey, you know what else is on the line?
What?
The highlights from the Appalachian Indoor
Showdown.
Yes.
On the line.
Yeah. I love that. Here we go. We got our next person coming on the Bullring. Hopefully you did them in the order in which I gave them, okay? Because otherwise I might say somebody else and it might not be that person. Hey, Toast.
What's going on?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Good.
You know why I'm calling you, don't you?
No.
Going.
You know why I'm calling you, don't you?
You there?
I'm here.
Can
you
you
got
hear
me,
us?
buddy?
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
So for the third time, you know why I'm calling you, don't you?
I think so. I've been watching your morning Bullring this morning.
You're not like busy, like working or doing something?
Yeah, we're in the shop working on race cars, trying to get ready for March 9th.
Okay. Would you like to be part of the Kawicki Driver Development Program, at least as a
Awesome.
semifinalist again?
Heck yeah.
Okay. So you're in. What do you think?
What's that?
I said, what do you think? What did this program teach you?
Oh, it taught me a lot. Taught me I got to have a lot of social skills. I think that from last year, that was one thing I lacked on. Gotta be competitive, get your name out there, and I'll keep the rest to myself. I don't want to give the competitors too many tips.
That's right.
Competition, baby.
How you feel going into Southern National?
I'm pretty confident. We just built a new Force Reynolds car. So we're finishing it up now and hopefully going to go shake it down here in the next couple days.
Well, awesome. Thanks for coming on, man, and congratulations. Good luck this year.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem. That's Justin Carroll, or as Bob liked to call him, Toast.
Toast. There's a little story behind that.
I never heard the story. I just see his name on social media.
And
like,
he's gone, but apparently he wound up burning himself, or something like that. And isn't that right, Tom? It was something like that. Big fire. Big fire
Okay,
with the race car.
there was a big fire. I'm pretty sure that there was an incident with a lapped car, and then he ended up going into the wall, tons of flames, and it's on YouTube. I don't know what you could look it up for, but
probably Justin Carroll.
Probably Toast.
All right, you ready for the next one?
I'm ready. Keep it going. And while we do that, actually, we're going to continue to go down the list a little bit here. Remember, this is just a little bit raw here this morning. So we got the next person coming on the line here just momentarily. I keep on sharing contacts with our little morning Bullring ring here. Wonder if this kid's going to answer. He might be in school as well. A lot of young kids on this.
Is the one we're calling the one that's highlighted?
No.
Okay. So I could say Austin Coonert.
You have reached the voicemail box of
Austin Coonert made it.
No, it's given the phone number.
Oh yeah, you cut it off. Okay, we'll just say too bad that I gave the phone number.
We could turn it down and then turn it right back up.
He should have had a personal voicemail. But Hunter Jack, congratulations, the driver out of Auburn, Indiana, driver in the CRA circuit. You are a semifinalist as well. We mentioned Austin Herzog as well. We continue to go down the list. We talked about Carson Quapple.
Yeah, and
what are we doing?
Coonert, who's we're calling him back.
The next person
one.
on the line.
Okay.
this is so exciting.
Okay. Yeah. This is wild what we're doing here.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing, man? You know who you're talking
Doing
to?
good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. It's Bob Dillner. How you doing?
Oh, what's going on, man?
I just figured I'd call you. I figured it's a Monday morning. We haven't spoken in a while. Figured maybe we could catch up, have lunch sometime. What do you think?
Yeah. Hey, when I'm up in North Carolina, we'll go.
Absolutely. Just to let you know, you're live on a show right now called The Morning Bullring. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was actually watching it just a few minutes ago.
Oh, so you know why we're calling then?
I would assume so. I want to hear you say it.
You are a semifinalist for the Kawicki Driver Development Program in 2019.
I got a question.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
I think I know who it is, but people at home, we didn't
Kyle
say who
Platt.
it was.
Sorry.
It's Kyle Platt.
Wow.
I'm just so used to talking to people, calling them, that sort of thing.
Yeah, most people have talked to Kyle. They know what he sounds like, and his voice sounds like molasses.
Yeah.
Nice and smooth and slow.
He's from Georgia, baby.
Like the interviews y'all showed me is horrible. Like,
what was that?
I sound really bad.
I know.
I need to work on that and speed up my talk a little bit.
Well, I think you've been getting good with your social media prowess. I know you battled hard for that Sponsor Me PFC 19 program, but now you got some work to do, buddy. You got some work to do to try to get into the top 7 and lock yourself into this program for $7,777.
I'm on it. I'm starting right now.
He's on it like Neil Bonnet.
So what does it mean to be a semifinalist?
Man, that's huge. I've never really been part of anything like this, so that's been the first time I'm ever a part of it. I'm going to make the best out of it and see how we do.
Well, congratulations, bud. And where do you got is the first race coming up? Is the first race going to be the Southern Super Series race at Pensacola, or you're doing something before that?
First one's going to be op.
Okay, yeah.
I was trying to make it to Montgomery and build this car we have, but I ain't going to make it. I'm the only person working in the shop, so we're just going to cancel that one and go to op and make the best out of it.
10-4. Well, we'll see you at Op for the Rattler there, and congratulations, dude.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thanks for calling me.
No problem. That was Kyle Plott.
I like how we go from talking to some Northerners to, and we get, hey, what's going on? We get like Alan Dietz on here.
We just need somebody from Boston to start talking about Ka or Minnesota or something like that.
I mean, we got Kendra.
Yeah, we do have Kendra with the
talking
I
about
don't sound like
get her
that.
talking about pasta.
You say out.
Out and
how you say pasta?
Pasta.
Yeah. How about this? This kid's from Madison, Connecticut. Devin O'Connell is a semifinalist. Devin O'Connell, competitor, used to be a Legends hotshot. Now in the late model wars of the New England area, competitor on the Granite State Pro Stock Series.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know much about him.
He's a good kid.
So, what I just heard was what I know about him.
Well, there you go.
How about that?
Well, we'll continue to go down the list then. Cole Raz, is that relation to Grayson?
Where's he from?
Yeah, he's from Oregon.
I don't think so.
I don't think so because
Kendra, do you know?
Grayson was from
I have no
California,
idea.
I believe. So congratulations to Cole Raz.
Let's Facebook it.
We'll there you go. We'll be talking a lot about these kids as part of the Kawicki Driver Development Program on a semifinalist role. Stories coming out and so forth. We talked about Paulie Schaefer. He is part of the program. Paulie, driver of the number 7 on the ARCA Midwest Tour. What do you got?
What do I got?
Yeah, what do you got on Raz?
I don't think he is any relation.
Okay.
He might. I mean, he's friends with Noah and Brandon McReynolds, but I don't see any.
Let's go no
family.
relation.
Cole is Grayson's younger brother, is what Brandon Paul just told us. So I knew he had a younger brother, but I wasn't sure, being that I thought Grayson was honestly from California.
I thought he was a Vegas boy. Or something.
Okay, yeah, something, because he's good buddies with Noah Gregson and so forth. But congratulations to everybody that has been named so far. We'll continue down the list, and Colin Silphy will be also part of this driver development program for Kawicki on a semifinalist role. He is out of Wisconsin. And then Logan Zampa, another California kid, is a semifinalist as well. So
I like that it's drivers from all over the spectrum.
Yeah, exactly. And right now there are 21 drivers from all different parts of the United States, and also a couple of drivers from Canada who happen to know each other pretty well.
Canada.
I believe, honestly, that I look at this list, Kendra, I believe that you are the only lady on the list this year. Last year, you had a couple of ladies that actually made it to the big time.
Yep, and now they're doing. Am I on mute? Yeah. Now they're doing really great stuff, and they're everywhere. Brittany is now in her in the K&N car.
Brittany Zamora.
Yep, and Molly is doing, I think, some racing over here now, but she's also after she graduated with her marketing degree, she's running her own company. There's I think it's called Creative 9 or something like that on Instagram, and she does a lot of stuff for other drivers, which is really cool.
Well, that's pretty neat. Yeah. The person that is behind this entire program is who we're going to get on the line next. Tom Roberts, he has been a good friend of mine for a very long time. We've known him in the NASCAR ranks for a really long time and worked with a lot of great drivers, most notably for sure Rusty Wallace for years as his PR guy. And then Kurt Busch put him out of business, honestly, with his little rampage down at Homestead back in the day, or at least that's what we like to kid Tom Roberts about. But Tom's a great guy, very much into this program, very much into short track racing. He goes to a lot of events around the country each and every year. He and the board really spend a lot of time in analyzing all the entrants. And right now, this list is 21 strong. They will have to pare this list down to 7. So we'll go to the PFC Performance Hotline right now and join Tom Roberts. Tom, we just announced 21 drivers live on the morning Bullring. It was an interesting way to do it. It was a lot of fun. We made one prank call, basically a bad call, because Mark had the fat fingers, and I could certainly do the same thing as well. But it was a lot of fun. And what do you think about the 21 drivers selected so far as semifinalists for the Kawicki Driver Development Program?
Well, Bob, first of all, I just want to say, I really, really love this show because it's very apparent that you guys have as much fun doing it as we do watching it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have a good time.
And as far as the program goes, we had so many quality candidates for this year that, again, I think the first year we wound up with 15 semifinalists. Well, it's gotten so tough for our board members that last year we had 21, and as it would turn out this year, what we wound up doing is the cutoff was, we have 7 advisory board members, and every driver that got at least 3 votes made the top 21. So that was how we have come this far. And then, of course, we have the interview sessions coming up. That's set from March the 4th through the 8th, and then we will regroup with all the board members and hopefully be in a position to announce our 7 drivers the week of the 25th. And while I have you on the line, you made the offer for us to do this today. What if we come back on the 25th and you guys announce our 7 drivers for 2019?
I think that's a great idea. Plan on it for that date at 9 a.m. You will hear the official Kawicki Driver Development Program list. And, of course, that's $7,777 that each driver gets, and then they compete for the entire year. And the great thing that I love about this program, Tom, is it's not just your on-track prowess. These people have to do a lot of work, and if you just look at, Justin Mondyke, or you look at, Yaki from last year, I mean, just describe to people how much charity work and how much work outside of the racetrack they had to do to compete for this title this past year.
Well, I think it's almost a misnomer in that the way that our program is set up, it's pretty much every driver for themselves. There is no requirement as far as number of hours that you spend or how active you are on social media. It's just that we have 7 advisory board members that watch what you do. And a lot of times what's really so cool is that you have the drivers looking at each other. They take great pride in carrying the Kawicki colors, but then it's like competing among themselves, which you saw last year, especially off the track competition that came down to Justin Mondyke and Brett Yaki. That really did impress the judges, but it actually came down to the decision-making factor being on track. The on-track competition was what carried Brett Yaki into the championship status.
Yeah, I can't imagine how difficult the process is. You start with so many drivers and really have to whittle it down to just one. Talk about that. Is it tough I'm sure it's real tough at some points to have to pick between certain drivers, or I'm sure you wish you can give everybody the money.
Absolutely. I made the statement that in texting, I think with Bob, that the 21 that we've chosen for the semifinalists for this year, I think we had another 21 that we'd have been proud to call our semifinalists. It's just that tough. And then for me personally, I love short track racing. I was on the NASCAR Cup Tour for 30 years, and my heart still has always been in short tracks. And this program has allowed me to really travel and get a real good feel as to just how healthy that short track racing is across the country and up in Canada. And I'm just thrilled. I'm happy with the direction that the sport is going in, and it's just it's personally gratifying to be able to work with all of these young drivers with our KDDP program.
Well, we see the list that's on the screen right now on the Morning Bullring, 21 drivers strong. We've called some of them. We've just spoken about some of them. Obviously, there's a couple of drivers that returned from last year, Jeremy Doss, Justin Carroll, D. Griff as well. 3 of those drivers returned. There's some semifinalists that actually were there last year that are returning as well, and some that actually didn't make the final cut for the top 7. But what impresses you out of this list that we see on the screen right now of these 21 drivers, Tom?
I think that they all get it. Yeah, by that I mean that they realize with this program that it's not just about what you do on the racetrack. That I take great pride, and through the years, I've actually had parents to call me at the conclusion of a year and say that, thanks so much for the positive impact that you and your program has had on my kid. They become better, well-rounded individuals. And, that's something that when I look and I think about how the program started, funded by the Kawicki estate, and to see Alan get into the Hall of Fame this year, that he would give it his stamp of approval. He's looking down, he's seeing what we're doing, and, he's proud of these kids, and, they're certainly proud to be part of the program.
Well, Tom, we appreciate you coming on, and we love what you and this program does, and you got some great people as part of the board, and just, keeping Alan's name alive and well, especially in the short track racing realm, which he loves so much. I think it's an awesome deal with what you do with the Kawicki Driver Development Program, and we at Speed51.com are honored to be part of it.
Well, Bob, I've said this many times that, when we were just putting this together back in 2014, you were one of the first people that I leaned on. And I said, can you help us get the message out? And this was, this would be our 5th season. And we're certainly proud to have Speed 51, as our official media partner.
Well, thank you, Tom. Great list again. I can't wait to be doing some stories on these guys and gals this year. And before I let you go, what do you think about that Kendra Adams girl? She's not listening at all.
She's a sweetheart, isn't she? This will be her 3rd time around to do her interviews, so she knows what's in store. But I think that she also understands just what an honor, what an accomplishment it is to make it among the semifinals.
Indeed, absolutely. 21 of the finest, honestly, kids in America in the short track racing realm. The Kawicki Driver Development Program announced here live on the Morning Bullring. And, of course, we'll have a lot more to come on each and every one of the semifinalists here on Speed51.com. Tom, good to see you, or good to hear you, actually. I'm not watching you right now, but where am I going to see you? You going to go into a short track here soon?
I am apt to be most anywhere, Bob. But
I know that.
For a better part of the next month, I think that I have my work cut out for me trying to head, all of the judging process and coming up with our 7 drivers, which, again, will be announced on the Morning Bullring on March the 25th.
That's going to be fun. Yep. Dude, that's just like a couple weeks away.
I know. Holy cow.
Incredible.
You got a lot of work to do.
When you get older, time flies by quicker, Tom.
Absolutely. I know that from experience, buddy.
Hey, nice having you, bud, and we look forward to talking to you on the 25th after all the evaluation is done. And honestly, you have a job, and the board has a job that I would not want. Good luck with all of that.
Thank you, as always. Thank you, Bob.
You got it. That was Tom Roberts, part of the Kawicki Driver Development Program. Casey, we heard the 21 names announced, the semifinalists. They have a little work to do now. Only 7 drivers is what it will whittle down to for the Kawicki Driver Development Program in 2019.
I could not do that job. I'm so indecisive when it comes to stuff like that. Like, how do you even pick?
No, I mean, listen, I get emotional, as you can tell, especially after the David Rogers interview earlier. And if you missed that and you're watching now, David Rogers, we had a pre-recorded interview with him. He's got cancer. He's got lymphoma. And he's starting chemotherapy tomorrow. So please, we ask you to pray for David Rogers, for sure, for that entire team, for his family, for the strength that they need to get through that. We've seen a lot of cool stuff on the show this morning as well.
Yeah.
A lot of joking around with some of the drivers, whether they've won or they're looking to win this coming weekend. But again, the announcement for the Quickie Driver Development Program, and a pretty impressive list of drivers. I'm going through. I need to learn a little bit more about some of them. I don't have a vote. Listen, Speed 51 does not have any vote with this. We are merely the exclusive media partner for the Quickie Driver Development Program, and we are honored to do that. And March 25th is when you'll hear the 7 finalists. The people that will be part of the program will be announced at 9 a.m. on the 25th of March, as long as we're not going over.
Kendra, if you don't make it, are you going to cry?
I might. I did last year.
We'll make sure we have you on.
I cried when I was a semifinalist, but I'm not going to lie. It's freezing in here, and I'm sweating.
It's too-
I was nervous before I came on. Ask Michaela. I was telling her all about it.
Yeah, nice to have Michaela Kugler in the house here. Her dad, just a great racer from the state of Indiana, from Stroh, Indiana. And Michaela Kugler has been part of the 51 family for a long time. And nice to see her down here at Studio 51. Hopefully we'll get to see her a little bit more often.
Yeah, it's a good thing that we ran overtime, or else she would have missed it.
Yes, she would have. Absolutely. We knew we were going overtime for 30 minutes, but we wound up an hour. Tom, Mark.
This might be as bad as our
Sorry,
debut.
guys. Sorry. Tom, oh, my gosh, you're killing me.
More work for us.
More work for you. Yeah, but that's a good thing. A lot of content. And we want to remind everybody that we now have a podcast channel for what you heard on the Morning Bullring. And what we do, just in case you don't want to hear the whole show, or you're in the car and it's hard to fast forward through the show, whether it's on the site or the 5-Star Race Car Bodies Facebook feed for Speed 51, you can actually get the individual segments on the podcast channels, both on Google Play as well as iTunes and the Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, and you could see stuff on this thing right here.
What?
Like I'm trying to. No, not on the
Oh,
desk,
okay.
on the screen. Yeah, look at-
What are you pointing to?
Check that out right there.
Yes.
The Speed 51 Network. Tons of videos.
Yep.
And it's going to be awesome. You can see my beautiful face. On
Not this show, though. This remains
I know.
free both on the site as well as on the Facebook page. But there is a ton of videos coming up. We have both the highlights coming out for the Ice Crusher 50 there at Showtime. We have a
You get excited when
I
you
do.
Ice Crusher.
Ice Crusher 50. Alec Jorgensen, he did a recap as well with some interviews from a lot of the players. We have every single feature event for the Appalachian Indoor Showdown.
There's like 74 of them.
Yes, $20,000 a driver won there. And Tom, just to let you know, I'm going to announce it live here. He's got some more work because we got to get Ashley and Jeremy Burnett those features in which that gentleman won. Just got to do a little WeTransfer to them so that they can review it and the insurance company can take a look at it. It's a tried and true thing, but obviously they just want to do a little checks and balances. So we got that to do as well for sure. All that can be seen this week. Alabama 200 Saturday night live for Premium Network members on that Speed 51 network. You'll be able to see that live. Kendra's going down there. Alec Jorgensen's going down. Melissa Straley. I think somebody else is going down too, and I can't remember who's going down. No, there's one more person as well that is going down there. So you'll have 4 people. A lot of us will be at Cherokee
We're getting
Speedway.
dirty.
Yes, getting dirty at the place your mama warned you about. I get excited about that one as well. Cherokee Speedway March Madness. That will be live for Premium Network members on Saturday. And then on Sunday, the March Madness with the Southern All-Stars kicking off their series this year will be live for a pay-per-view style broadcast on Sunday. I think we've talked enough.
Yeah,
I think it's time to wrap it up.
I'm done. I'm ready to
Adios.
go home.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. Be back next Monday, 7:30 a.m. on the Morning Bullring here on Speed 51. We're out.